Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Power on.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
When it comes to one-year-old Mariah Cartavius, you are not.
Space, the final frontier. It's 5 years.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Joy.
Yeah. Birthday. It's your birthday.
Go, 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 go.
Joy.
It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday.
Joy.
It's your birthday. I wanna wish you a happy birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday! Thank you. I want to cry. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Drew.
You're
That
welcome.
was a
Someone else
compilation
wants to say
from
happy
Drew
birthday.
and I.
Happy birthday! Thank
Aw.
you. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you, guys. It's so great to be back here. We are on Now Trending Live. We are now no longer Now Trending. We're now Trending Live.
Yay!
We're here, our first show of Now Trending Live today on Monday, January 8th, which is also my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It is the big
Suspicious.
4-0.
Wow, you're sharing that?
Yeah, you know
Wow.
what? At first, I was kind of anxious and thought about how you know what, when you're turning 40, when you're just a month or two away, that's when it hits you. Okay, like Chris and I were discussing
Chris.
earlier.
Yeah,
You actually start counting the days like, oh my God, 39 is over. We're going into another decade, into another time. But I feel great. Here's the thing is I feel great. I'm happy about where I am at my age. So I just, you know what? I feel great. And I'm proud to say that I'm 40 today.
Yay! Congratulations.
no,
Thank you.
I've counted the days. They're still in months and weeks.
Right.
I'm still
yes.
that kind of far out, but it's 2 months and 1 week.
Yes.
today.
You see? Exactly.
So
And
now
you-
that's like a relevant point in the mileage
right.
from here to there. You know?
I think because you start thinking about life more seriously and you think of the things that you really do need to focus on. And for some reason, the earth at that point takes all of your energy and it actually puts it towards focusing on those things you need to.
Well, that's good to know. You're paving the way for a few of us.
I think that's how it's supposed to work. And then I wasn't sure what to expect. They said, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. And I felt like it was Y2K. You know how we all went to bed and we didn't know what was going to happen in the morning?
I was working on New Year's Eve Y2K.
Oh, really?
I was working.
So you watched, most of us went to bed and we're like, we're going to close our eyes, just when we wake up tomorrow, what's the world going to be like?
We were told not to use the elevators between 11:45 and 12:15.
Really?
So I worked on whatever floor,
Right.
and the employee cafeteria was in the bottom level.
So whatever floor is between which two levels?
It was like, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. It's like if you were on break,
right,
a 15 or 20 minute break, what would normally be a minute elevator ride turned into a 3 or 4 minute ride, walk up the stairs.
Right.
So you had to plan your breaks accordingly. And I was on break while it was going down, while the ball was dropping, and while we were told not to do certain things at midnight and stuff, because they didn't know. Nobody knew.
And you were using the elevator?
No, we had to walk by the elevator to go to the staircase.
Right. Okay. I thought he said though I was still doing. That's right. First, I was like, Chris Metal would
No,
be the
I was
one
on-
jumping in the elevator, pushing the buttons.
I was on
At
break when they were saying
11:59.
not to use it, so I'm making. I should have.
Some of us are just those type. I would be in there like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah, it was a big deal.
What could possibly go wrong?
So it's been months. We've actually been gone for a couple of months. I think the last time we left off, it was around September-ish. It was after Hurricane Irma.
No, we left off around Halloween because we did the
Yeah.
Halloween show.
See,
We stopped in the
I
beginning
can
of
blame
November.
my mental,
You're losing your mind.
yes, because
Oh,
I'm
you're
40.
40 now.
See, and now I can use it as an excuse.
Oh, perfect.
I feel that I've earned the right
It's okay.
now. Like I feel at 40, I have rights now. I have rights that I can use.
Now
Now I'm 40 if I forget things. I can be crabby, opinionated, loud.
Did you look all this up?
Now?
Yeah.
Now.
So that's gonna change now that you're 40. You're
Nah.
Yeah, I think because I think it's a right that you earn. Like once you hit 40.
I don't know.
And then I was telling my old best friend that I grew up with that I feel like I'm morphing into the Italian Donna. Like the Italian Donna, like her name is Donna. She's middle-aged, she's blonde, and she just says whatever's on her mind. You know Donna, right, Chris?
Sure.
Say
It's only because it's your birthday.
I think we all know Donna.
so I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm turning into Donna. And I got a lot to tell you, even if you don't want to hear it. So it has. Okay, so we were here for Halloween. You're absolutely right. Now I remember my Halloween getup.
I
Remember Darth Metal?
Oh,
Yes.
And I stood on the desk hanging direct decorations.
Yes. Yes.
That's when I was walking in.
So we've been gone though, at least for the holidays. We're in a new year.
Roughly
We have
2 months.
lots to talk about today. It's great to be back with everybody. How does everybody feel being back with each other?
Well, it's
It's
great.
good. It's
It's
nice.
great to see everybody.
The crew is here.
Yeah.
We've got lots this year that we're going to be having our fans join us with. Lots of partnerships. We are partnered again still with the Susan G. Komen Foundation of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So we're definitely going to dive more deep into our partnership with them this year. So we'll have lots more guests on here, and we'll also be at lots more events and making more appearances. So we just really want to go ahead and shed light on that foundation and what it has to offer to the people, the community. There's volunteer opportunities, just about anything you can imagine.
Anything you can imagine.
Isn't everybody excited?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excited for a new year and the opportunities it will bring.
Absolutely.
It is. Now, does everyone feel great about 2018?
So far, yeah.
Well, it's been 8 days.
I feel like it's going to be great. I have every day planned out, I feel.
What do people expect after 8 days when you pose a question like that? Like, what response do you anticipate
I know
getting?
some people who are already down in the dumps. They're like, already, this is going to be a bad year. And I'm just like, I've been so pumped for this year for the last few months, just getting ready and just waiting for this year to come.
I have to say I like even numbered years better.
Yes. Okay. Are you one like that
Interesting.
as well? No, it
Very-
is.
No, interesting.
No,
Great.
I'm not going to say I'm into numerology, but numbers do play kind of a significant part of my life.
Same
Yeah.
here. I have numerology and superstition, and 18, 1 and 8 are my. Today's January 8th, so 1 and 8. It's 2018. So I mean, 1 and 8 have always been my lucky numbers.
So 1/8/18 today.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Good. That's
It
very
is.
lucky for you.
It is.
That is
so.
cool. That happens
18,
once.
18.
That happens once.
It does, but they're
Unless
they're
you live
both my
another
good numbers.
1,000 years.
Right.
Don't curse me. No.
It could happen.
So again, we're back. We all have new exciting plans. Let's talk about we've been gone. Before we get in today, we're going to talk a lot. We've got 2017 review, things to go over, things that we have sat here and discussed. We didn't know the outcomes. We've had opinions towards, and now we know the outcomes as of today for lots of things. Just like Drew, who's your president this year, Drew?
He's going to say Oprah.
2018.
Oprah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Is
You talking to
Oprah
me?
your president now?
I don't want to know either. My president, it's still in the air. I haven't decided yet.
No, dude, just roll with it because we had to roll with the BS for the last 8 years before that, and then with Bush, and then all that.
Oh, we're
So,
gonna get into it
we're gonna
shortly,
roll with it,
guys.
man.
No, but we're gonna get into it shortly because I want to
No,
discuss.
seriously.
Man, knowing the debt, yeah, all that bullshit. Yeah, okay. I just.
It's one of those things,
Okay,
man. You don't
we-
like it, you got to suck it up.
we
You don't want the
can-
pilot to crash the plane, do you? The one you're flying in?
Oh Lord, no.
That's true.
Okay, then you got to roll with it, man.
He's dogfighting with German zeros.
I mean, if you don't like him, you still have to support him because you're an
I
American.
try-
You're a
I
And
proud
that's-
American.
we're going to talk about that shortly.
I try,
Right,
but-
we're going to talk about that shortly because
Seriously.
we were all
Open
sitting
mouth,
here.
that's what foot.
Right, but even back in our old studios, up until the election, we all sat here discussing, what would things be like, and now we're actually living in the time that we were discussing, what's going to happen. And I want to go through later. We're going to discuss the changes, things that have actually happened, things for this country, some things you may disagree with, some things you may agree with, but changes have been made. And so far, he actually made it 1 year. We're almost at 1 year, and he hasn't been impeached.
Okay, yeah, he made it. He made it because he just was doing all these bad things.
No, and that's again, I'm not trying to make it like that. That was not what I meant by saying
we still have all 50 states.
We still have
for now.
We do.
Couple territories.
But just a lot of talk and just a lot of changes. I want to discuss and break down today. So Siobhan left us for the holidays, and she went over to the other side.
The left coast.
The other side. I went to
the left coast.
Left coast.
How was your vacation?
It was good. I got to be in California for Happy Rec Day, as they called it.
She was.
Ah, yes.
Siobhan was in California to witness history. On January 1st. And we were messaging saying, this is something that's going to be in the history books.
It really was. I mean, okay, so tell our listeners that, even though marijuana was legalized in California, that's the vote in 2016, but the full legality did not go into effect until January 1st in California, which now means that dispensaries now have licenses to sell marijuana legally, recreationally. And I woke up to a notification on my iPad that said, "Smile, California, recreational marijuana is now legal."
Even our electronic devices,
it notified
are
me.
Celebrating.
So.
I believe I got a notification as well.
Well, and I shared.
I didn't
with
get
Chris,
a notification.
I didn't one either. So.
Sure, you didn't get your notification. I didn't get my notification.
No, I didn't get my notification. Evil people.
Obviously means it's only a matter before the majority of all the states.
Before other states. Yeah.
Usually happens that way.
There were people lined up around the block for some of these dispensaries.
No, that's what I was going to say. Now, you did go out that day, right? And we're
I waited till the daytime. I didn't stand in a line.
What day of the week was it?
It was a Monday.
Green Monday.
Yeah, really. They did call it, when I went in, the owner greeted me and said, "Hey, happy rec day." And I'm like, what is that?
Okay, so like we said, so you went to a dispensary.
Yes, I did.
And what was it like when you pulled up? What was the atmosphere like? What was the environment like?
Well, I wasn't sure what to expect. I kind of was thinking I might expect just a head shop with a bunch of stoners hanging outside. And
right.
I really kind of was waiting for that, but that's not at all what it was. It was very... Inside, it was very clean, like a high-end coffee shop. And the parking lot was pretty full. But when you go inside, they immediately check your ID and made you sign a registration and all this because you become one of their clients. And you go into their database and stuff. But they also gave all new clients $15 credit or a free nugget of weed. Yes. And I was just my jaw hit the floor.
And now did the people did they range? Did you see professionals? Did you see, what looked like? Were people assumed as stoners? Did it seem like a mixed crowd? I just think that people have a stereotype.
Like a mixed crowd. But the owner, I knew, I was friends of friends with someone who works there. And so the owner came out and gave us kind of a welcome and an introduction and gave us a tour around. And he was... I would have expected this old soul burned out hippie from from San Francisco, from Haight-Ashbury.
That's the stereotypes. That's why I want to hear the story.
Wearing a button-up collared shirt with a sweater vest and glasses, and you would have expected him to be working more at eBay or Google or something, and not at
those are your closet pot smokers.
I'm sure. We were in Silicon Valley, but
there you go.
But yeah, he was very nice, very well spoken, and very friendly, and gave us the tour and gave questions, and then we went up to the counter where the bud tenders are.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Now, is it it's displayed in what, jars or?
Actually, it's displayed. It's not. They have a few glass top counters with different products displayed.
Display cases,
yeah.
Okay,
but they're really nice looking. So they had one set up with a bunch of tinctures, the drops that you could put in water or put on your tongue, and then they had another case set up with drink THC form drinks. They had another one set up with concentrates. They had another one set up with like lotions. They had another one set up with edibles. And then you go up to the counter, and behind, like, it's under, you know, pretty tight security.
Right. Now, that's what I noticed too. Like, do they have security as such as, I mean, are there like bodyguards there?
No, I mean, they're there because when we got there, a security guard came up to us and asked us if we were in the red van, and we weren't. But they told us that someone had left their child in the car.
Oh no!
And first of all,
obviously, hold on. So there was an announcement while you were in the dispensary. Was there an announcement?
No.
that someone
The
left their
security
kid?
guard was just asking people, you know, are you in the red van? And you need to leave if you are. Because first of all, obviously children are not allowed inside of the place, but they're also not allowed on the premises, like anywhere on the property. So someone brought their kid with them to go to the marijuana dispensary.
But kids can go into liquor stores.
Now that makes a great point also.
Can they?
Yeah, I think kids can still go into liquor stores, but they can't, I mean, they can't hold on to anything. But it's like if you walk in to buy beer or wine, but that's the thing is that, you know what, there's going to come a day in time where this is going to, you know, marijuana is going to be more than likely, I see it as like cigarettes or alcohol.
Yeah,
Exactly.
maybe.
Same thing.
But
Same
you know,
rules
this is
apply.
day one of legalization, and people are already being idiots. Like, come on, you worked so hard, and people fought for so long to get this, and they're gonna ruin it by breaking rules right at the top. So I just was like, come on, people, get it together. You don't bring your children on day one to the
No,
marijuana
that definitely
dispensary.
looks out of place, and you keep the kid in the van is even worse with all
Yeah.
like child abductions.
Wherever
and
you go, you
all
should not
crazy
leave
things.
your kids in the car.
And don't leave kids in
No, but
vans
even if
either.
a cop came by or something like that, and then to be that kind of store,
Mhm.
I mean, really, we're just starting off. Let's
Yeah.
not ruin it.
But like all the actual weed, the bud is kept like in a back room that you can kind of like, it's kind of like frosted glass that you can kind of see into, but you can't really see into it.
Now, when you walk in, does it smell strong of
The
it?
parking lot, I could smell it because I'm sure people, I'm sure
Right.
people were going right
But-
outside and smoking.
But when you walk into the store itself,
A little bit, not as bad as you would think, but a little bit. Yeah.
I walked into two dispensaries when I was out in Sacramento back in 2011,
Mhm.
and it was just the kind of same thing. There's a counter set up. There's like, you know, a couple people working there. There's displays of different sorts of, I don't want to say paraphernalia, things like that, but
I know,
different
because
things.
it makes a negative tone to it when you say
But it
like
was-
paraphernalia. And the thing is that this is what people are turning to
Yeah.
Mhm.
for many different reasons.
And it was all on the up and up. It wasn't a joke.
Right,
It wasn't like,
right.
you know,
That's what I
anything
wanna
else. It was
highlight here.
actually professional, like
Exactly.
looking products,
Right.
you know, intended for use or use with, you know,
Right.
and then in a different room,
Mhm.
they had the other stuff that they displayed at like the rectangular glass case. They opened it up, and there's different jars inside with different
Mhm.
shaped things and pre-rolls, these big cone shaped things,
Right.
all sorts of different things. But you had to use the terminology.
Right.
Like my best friend and his wife were on the program because she has Crohn's disease.
Mhm. Right.
Because he's married to her, he can pick it up for her, deliver it, and administer it. So basically, pick it up, bring it home, roll it, and go.
Right.
But you can't use that terminology. Like when I went out,
Oh, you
there-
were telling us that before.
when I went out there, he's like, dude, we're not getting high.
Right.
We're not smoking. You know, we are medicating.
Yes.
This is
Mhm.
medication.
Right.
And he took it. He's the most sarcastic person I've known in my life. And he took this more serious than anything he's ever taken in his life.
Right. And I think anyone who owns or works at a dispensary now that it's legal is going to do all they can to follow the rules because, you know, they worked hard to get to this point and they don't want to lose that.
The feds can walk in at any moment.
It is, and
Absolutely.
there's a lot of red
Absolutely.
tape to get a license to get a dispensary. There's a lot of red tape, you know, because again, it's something that's so new. It's not something that the government was for, per se.
Not in the federal level.
No. The federal was okay
Right.
with it until 2016, and then once the government changed hands, now the new government is not so willing to turn a blind eye to it.
Right. But here's the thing. It does have a lot of health benefits they're finding. There's lots of studies for serious
Sure,
diseases.
totally agree.
And that's why I want to highlight the fact that these dispensaries aren't just like stoner,
No,
head
they're not.
shops that you're walking into.
They're not.
Because
Not in the
the
least.
thing is that I have talked to lots of professionals who have been interested in treating some of their illnesses or cures or just getting some type of relief using marijuana. However, there's a stereotype. There really is a stereotype stereotype that at some point it's obviously going to, lighten up around the country. But as times change right now, one of the biggest stereotypes are, it's just a bunch of hippie stoners hanging out, and they're not looking at it on a professional view.
Right.
And that's why I wanted you to discuss what it was like walking in there and, just how the way things work in there, because it actually is a professional business.
Right.
And the owners of these businesses are there to make money as well. It's not just about making the money. It's something that they're actually passionate about. These people are very knowledgeable and very educated when it comes to different strains.
They have to be.
They do. And,
one of the funny things that the owner said, because he showed me, they have a menu of everything and all the different strains and everything that they have, and even brands, he said that all his bud tenders have tried everything. So I thought, wow, how do you get a job here?
Well, it's like at Starbucks. At Starbucks, you have to coffee taste everything.
Yeah.
Or when you're a wine taster, you have to
But
taste.
he wants them to be knowledgeable about what they're selling and what they're speaking
Absolutely,
on.
right. But that's why they have you, though, do those tastings so you know what things taste like and how they feel and, what it gives you. But it's definitely something that we'll keep on top of as things change and just see, where it goes.
Yeah. So it was fun to be part of it.
It is. No, and that's what we were talking about. This is like prohibition, like when it comes to alcohol.
Yeah.
And this is something that's going to be in history books and, 100 years from now, when it's sold like cigarettes, over at 7-Eleven.
When people take it for granted.
Right. And they're not going to think of the times now that we had to get these types of laws passed here in this country.
If I could just flip the coin for a second and speak on behalf of like not playing devil's advocate or anything, but looking at it from other people's perspective, mainly potheads, would find it easier, I believe, the way it is now. You go to your boy's house with $100, come home with a bag.
Right.
You don't have to go to the doctor, get the paperwork, fill out this, get approved for that, do this, and then go there and get it. And then everybody knows you're doing it.
Right.
You just get it and come home. You're home in half an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, I think, would prefer to see it that way because, let's say, not a lot of this stuff is lab grown. The stuff you're getting off the streets or whatever, or your buddy's house. All this stuff that they're selling in the dispensaries are, medicinal and have this advantage and do this for you and do that for you. All sorts of things.
Right.
You don't know what you're getting when you buy it from your boy's house.
Right.
This stuff's really good.
Yeah.
You take your word for it.
Right.
This enterprise that they have going down is on a completely different scale.
It is. It's not. It's just
Pardon
not
the pun
that
scale there.
Right. But it's just an industry again that is just not, not what the stereotype is when it comes down to it. Drew has been so quiet during the subject.
Yes, I'm sorry.
How do you feel about the legalization of marijuana, either in a medical capacity, such as like South Florida, Florida now? I mean, we haven't gone into effect. We've actually voted.
Well, no, you can get medical cards now.
Right.
Oh, you can? But for very few ailments.
Right. For few ailments. And it's still hard to find a dispensary at the same time also. But at some point in time, we're going to move into recreational use, I'm sure.
How do you feel about that, Drew?
You're so quiet on this, Drew. And does your household speak of this?
That's a good question.
He's thinking of that conversation him and his wife had, but he's not going to say it here on the air.
No. We do, part of it, you talk about it. I don't really see the problem with using it for medical reasons. I don't see the problem using it for recreational reasons, honestly. If you make an educated decision to do whatever you do, as long as you don't break the law, so be it. Now, some laws should be revisited or changed because, hey, things are different now. As such, and I don't think that staying stuck in the old ways will help anybody.
I mean, it's finally about time, right, guys?
Yeah. I have to say, all the highway billboards, how they changed from like the Amber Alert and the Silver Alert and in California, all of those billboards said drive high, get a DUI, like reminding you that a DUI is not just for alcohol.
It's the same as alcohol. It's
You're
the same
absolutely
as
right.
cigarettes. It's the same thing.
Right. And that's the only problem that they're having issues with creating laws for is driving while under the influence, because really you can't, do a breathalyzer test and say that somebody's high.
Yeah, you can smell it. The same way you bust them now, the same
right.
Same
but even smell is not because sometimes you could have some really good stuff, but the thing is you haven't smoked it.
What?
No, I'm just saying that. So you can't see by the smell.
I I think it's a little hypocritical of the government as well, because you're allowing alcohol, you're allowing tobacco, you're allowing lots of other things, and now you're saying this is dangerous.
Right. And do you,
know,
okay, now do you have an
after-
opinion as to
After
what is more
cigarettes
dangerous?
Kill gobs of people.
Right.
You're not okay with this.
The only industry it's dangerous towards is the paper industry. And if you go back in the history of this country, back to like I believe the 30s or 40s, right around the Depression, or right after, just something like that, company came out, went to the government and said, this product is going to destroy the paper company because of hemp. You can make paper out of hemp. And hemp has millions of different uses.
Right.
And somebody said to the government that this is going to shut down the paper industry. So they labeled it as a class 1 felony drug BS thing. They made it out to be this empire of evil things.
So some lawyers
all
got
because it
hold
was
of
going to
it.
destroy the paper company, put a lot of people out of business, bankrupt a lot of people, and a lot of people getting money from a lot of those people.
Right.
I don't think the pharmaceutical companies today really like that.
No,
the
because
idea of
they'll go out
marijuana.
of business too. They'll be the next ones out.
Yep.
They're making good gobs of money now.
Yeah, but-
They don't create cures; they create customers.
Exactly.
And that's exactly
And
the
that's the
story.
new drug right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
You got more people getting a problem with that than you do with this.
but this it has a different sort of relationship with you. This product we're talking about, for all people out there who have, went to college and went to high school, things like that. Those who experimented with it in their lives, it's hardly something you would feel comfortable with having a doctor write a prescription for you. Like, I know what I want, so I don't need you to tell me I need it. It's not like the Prozac and all the different pills that people take and everything. This is like simple. You go down to your buddy's house, you pick up a bag, you bring it home. Now you have to do all this regulation stuff. You got to get all this paperwork. You have to sit down with a doctor or a counselor or a pain specialist, and you need this, and then you need this brand. Although it probably will work. I mean, it's just
It creates other diseases and other bad habits. You know
There you
what? The
go.
things that
I
are
was
there's
just
lots of
getting there.
nasty side effects to the drugs that currently are out there. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break. We actually went longer on that topic, but it was a great topic because it is a change in American history. It's a huge change in American history. So again, with that being said, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we've got lots more to talk about. A flashback of 2017 and what's new to come in 2018. So stay tuned to Now Trending Live right here on nowtrendingradio.com. We're back to Now Trending Live right here on NowTrendingRadio.com. So again, yeah, we're falling under a new name. We are now trending live because we are here live each and every week as we were before.
Yay. But you can still listen to us after the show.
Yes, you can still listen to us after the show. And then we're also going to be on many more
Outlets.
different platforms and outlets. So many names in the technology world. Like I can't keep up anymore.
Yeah.
There was what was another name? Even with this hashtag, first to us it was the tic-tac-toe sign, then it was the hashtag. Did it take anybody a while to understand?
Sign?
No.
Yeah, the number sign.
Pound.
Sign.
Pound.
Pound.
Wait a minute. What did you call it?
The tic-tac-toe sign?
Are you kidding me?
I never called it
that. Pound. I meant to say pound and number sign.
Pound and tic-tac sign.
Ampersand
Doesn't even sound close.
Yeah, ad is for the app, but we're talking about the pound sign.
Well, the pound's for the phone.
The ampersand is the and.
But when it changed, the pound changed to the hashtag, like, did it take you? I had to research it. I had to go on Google.
But the pound is for the phone. You had the
right.
old phone?
It's the number sign.
Yeah, and they had the star on the other side.
But then,
right, but that was for the phone. Once it became this,
yeah, this internet thing.
Hashtag.
Then it became a hashtag. Yeah.
But if you ask kids today, what's a pound
Oh
sign?
my God, they have no idea.
They don't know. They wouldn't have a clue as to what they're saying. So for Christmas, Drew got us this lovely game. Who's most likely to? So I figured during the show, I'll ask you guys questions. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and read out something, and you'll say out of which one of us who's most likely to, whatever it is that's on the card. Whoever ends up with the most cards at the end is actually the loser. So we'll just do this randomly.
I can tell you, I'll probably be a loser.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. Go on.
Wow.
No, I'll be the loser.
All right.
Okay.
Totally losing this game.
All right. No.
This goes along with the never have I ever kind of game.
We gotta play that. We gotta play that.
Yeah. Here's a good one now for my 40th birthday. Here's her first question.
Okay.
Out of Drew, Chris Metal, Siobhan, me. Old person tendencies.
Oh, what was it? Did I just raise my hand or what is that?
Yeah, who do you think it is?
Me.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say Drew. Drew is probably out of all of us who has the old person tendencies.
What are old person tendencies?
What's cold in here?
What I'm morphing into.
Well, what are the ramifications? Like, what are some of the examples of this?
Who carries butterscotch in their purse?
Butterscotch or the strawberry candies. The hard strawberry.
I like those. What does that mean?
Exactly. You have old person tendencies.
That doesn't mean I get that card, though. We're still giving it to Drew.
Who is the most likely to among?
Yeah,
all
who
of us?
out of all of us? Who
So we
is-
have to vote, basically.
Yeah, who do you think has the most old person tendencies?
I honestly, I would. Drew, I love you.
No, I
I
only
admit
say
it. I
he's
admit
the more
myself. I admit
responsible
it
one
myself.
out of us. He's
I
the
admit it
more.
myself. I admit it
No, but, like,
myself.
I'm really throwing you
He
under
is
this
older than
fictional
all of
bus.
us too, though.
Yeah.
Not by
But
much.
you have to put that aside because that's something he
is.
can't help.
I think
These are characteristics that you have to exhibit. Like I would have given it to me if I was sitting across from me. I was definitely him. You know.
Well, you'd be next.
Oh, thanks.
You can't nominate yourself.
Now it's a gender thing.
You can nominate yourself.
No, now it's a gender thing.
No, it's not.
Because you call out both dudes.
No, but I call out Drew
Both
because
old
he's the
dudes.
more responsible, like the family one.
Ugh.
He makes more responsible decisions than us. I
He
think
posts the
sometimes-
most family pictures on
He does.
Facebook out of all of
Yes,
us.
he does. You know, he very is like
You know what movie he's at. You know when it's in 3D.
you know,
You know glasses on.
like to us
It's
we're
true.
older, but we're more like riskier. I think we're more
Risque?
risque. Yeah.
Well, until a few weeks ago, he is the one who had the family car, but now you've got the same kind of
Oh,
car
you got the
as
family
him.
truckster. Yeah, welcome
You
aboard.
both
Yeah,
have
you gotta- you're
SUVs.
like
I
a
didn't
soccer
get a minivan.
mom.
I didn't get a minivan though. Let me tell
No,
you.
but this is the new minivan.
Did you buy it because the kids were going to ride in it?
No,
That's what-
equipment. I bought it for equipment.
Oh,
But
good, man.
these are the new caravans. These are the new.
True.
Yep.
These are, because they
These are
don't.
new station
Those
wagons.
won't sell. Those
That's
old
why-
ones.
that's
But if
why-
they keep the same amount of space but shape it differently,
Yeah.
people are gonna buy it.
But and you're absolutely right with that because you know what? I wanted the SUV, not minivan. I'm out of that stage. My kids are grown, but that's what kept me away from the Dodge Journey, I believe it was, because that looks like a crossover of an SUV and a minivan. If it was just a mini Dodge, what is the SUV? Durango. If
That
now,
stuff is huge.
my mom has a Durango. I love that vehicle. Now, if the Journey was a mini Durango, like if it looked like just a smaller, I would have been on that in a heartbeat. But to me, when I look at it, it looks like a Durango and a minivan, like made love
Got
and had a
together.
baby.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Got together, smoke a little ditty.
Yeah.
Robot
I came
sex.
out with the Journey and I'm like, no, I don't want an SUV.
I
That looks
know
like a
you.
minivan. Okay, so we all agree that
We all
Drew is
agree.
the one out of all
Even
of us.
Drew agrees. This is
Okay.
the only 4 that's going to be awarded today.
So Drew's the leading loser.
Leading loser. Thank you.
So moving on. Siobhan's got stories because this is her segment.
Okay. Well, first of all, Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year.
Okay. Did any of you guys make New Year's resolutions?
Nope.
No, I stopped doing that.
No,
I stopped doing that a couple of years ago because I never kept them, and 2, it was just disappointing.
Because post their old people tendencies to not make them.
I have one thing that I say now at usually every opportunity that I get in a group of people. I always say this one thing. My uncle said this. The first time I heard him say it was last year at a family gathering. You know, he was giving a toast. You know, everybody said cheers or salute. He said, "Stay vertical."
That's
That's
a good goal.
Amen.
Now I'm saying that when I'm in a group of people. Like I left the barbershop the other day, and I said, "Guys, be safe and stay vertical." And you know, a couple of giggles, chuckles. But it's like, you know, it's words to live by.
Sometimes it's nice to be horizontal. No.
Of course it is.
Amen.
I love the 2018 Siobhan.
I told you, even
This
number
is
years are my years.
a family show.
Yeah, we were talking about
Not on my 40th birthday, buddy.
Good thing the camera's on.
All right. Well, I also don't believe in making New Year's resolutions. However, this year I have kind of decided to get rid of toxicity from my life. And
That's a terrible album.
Toxic.
It was not.
Toxic
It was great.
people, toxic relationships. So that's kind of like, I don't know if that is considered.
Oh, it
a
was fun being on the
resolution,
show with you guys.
but it's kind of
Great seeing
cool.
you.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get too far into this, but because
Don't worry, Chris, you're old with me.
I see a lot of my friends who are very successful and who have done great things with my life, and I feel like I need to focus more on the things that they put out on social media rather than the things that people put out that bug me. So that's one thing I can change. Anyhow, since none of you guys made New Year's resolutions, and I'm tired of hearing the saying "New Year, New You."
Yes.
I'm
grow.
Oh, that's terrible.
I think people should grow. I think each year you get better. I
As
think
you
each
get-
year you should
don't
try.
As you get older?
You're the one with the
It's not
tendencies,
even.
buddy.
It's not even growth either. Just growth alone. It's evolution. It's like you evolve.
It is. And that's a great word.
You
And
know?
that's what I was saying to myself.
But we
Like
don't
over the
need
past
to-
2 years, I've evolved.
We don't need to reinvent ourselves every year.
But
Agreed.
You won't see it overnight because it's a daily thing. Like if you take a picture today and then match it up from last
Here's
year
the
and then
thing.
from
Right. But
next-
you know what? I think lots of people assume resolutions are like something that's going to fall out of the sky as just like, oh, it's like, and when things don't happen, they're like, oh, I just have no luck at all. It was no, because you didn't put forth the effort to make those goals and dreams come true.
Right.
It's not going to fall out of the sky. I'll tell you, after 40 years, it didn't take me long to learn that. But, it's something that I did learn that I do see a lot of people with my age struggling with. And I don't understand it. It's kind of hard also at my age when you see, others
Say my
around you.
age.
Yeah, it is. I
Very
feel like a
focused on
whole
that
new
today.
age. It is. I'm an adult now.
It's so funny, yeah. 2 years ago,
No.
Joy was different.
No, but you know what? People use those at least for the first week of the new year,
Right.
as a way to motivate them to, let's say, go to the gym or to be less of a pack rat and more organized. Like start condensing what you own, donate something, throw stuff out. I know, family show. Sorry.
Beep.
Things like that. Yeah, that was delayed, wasn't it? And there you go. Thank you.
Okay.
But like a lot of people, and myself included,
Mhm.
it falls off after a week or two or a month, or you say F it, and then you're just back in the same rut. It's just a different year on the calendar. So you have to take those resolutions seriously.
Seriously.
Don't just look at yourself in the mirror on New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day and be like, all right, here we go. You have to
Right.
do
Yeah.
it and stick to it.
Right.
Or something that don't like you said, don't go. That's the best way to put it. Don't try to jump further than you can. You know what I mean? Don't
Take it
Be
a step at a
realistic
time.
yeah, don't say, okay, I'm gonna be an astronaut today. This year.
Right.
You're
Let's
not-
be
you're not gonna
realistic
be.
about, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But maybe you instill in the
Everyone's
program, maybe you learn a bit more about it, maybe you go by and be part-time at the Space Center or something like that. You get to
Go to
where you
space
can.
camp.
But you know, you always have
Exactly.
the usual resolutions. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go through all my.
But that's just
Because I think people feel that they feel like some magic is going to come over them when the year turns, and it's going to make them want to go to the gym, and it's going to make them want to quit smoking. Like it doesn't work that way. You really need to want
it. Doesn't need
Only
to be
two
on the
things-
first of the year to
only-
have that mindset.
It doesn't.
Exactly,
Thank you.
exactly.
And that's another great point.
Exactly.
That's what and that goes with it, because a lot of people think again like this is magically going to happen overnight.
No.
So if it didn't happen, then it's not something towards the middle or end of the year. No, it is
only-
never too late to change.
there's only
It's
two
never too
things-
late to change.
There's only two things that happen at the end of the year. One, the Earth goes around the sun in the same spot. Two, because man created a calendar, it ends this day. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's the same day.
Okay, so a lot of experts say that one thing you can do or to improve your life is make your bed every day.
Agreed.
I made mine today.
Do you guys
Agreed.
make your bed every
I
day?
made mine. No,
I don't. I wish I did.
I made mine. Today.
I do on my days off.
What? This is
Well-
I know a lot of people talk about this online
It's
about
true.
making your bed.
Let me
each day.
say, like, my mom makes her bed every day. Like, pulls covers up, tucks it
My
in,
mom
puts the
too.
pillows on. It's really nice. I go as far as I pull the comforter up.
That counts
Does
though,
that
because
count?
it's not.
I don't know.
You
It's
cover
not
it?
like you just rolled out of it like 5 hours later. It's actually neat and
Well-
organized.
Well,
to a
that
certain
comes
degree.
from the.
There
That comes
can
from
be
the
more, I
5 more
guess.
minutes. 5 more
But-
minutes. 5 more
Yeah.
minutes. 5 more minutes.
If you look at a bedroom with the bed made, it's cleaner. It looks neater and clean,
Yes.
not as disgusting.
I made my bed today, and I was happy when I made it.
Does that improve your life? Do you think there's
I think
I
something
felt
to it?
better. I felt
No,
honestly
it
good.
does, because now, like, you know, okay, like for me, right? Like if I make my bed in the morning and I leave, right? I can't wait to go home and be in that bed. Like it's exciting. It's like
Yeah.
a reward.
But it's so much easier to get
And-
into it when it's not all made.
But it's
No, I hate the feel. You know, I hate the feeling. You know,
well
it
tucked
is-
in and everything. Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, it doesn't feel like a freshly made bed. There's just something about coming home, and you know, when you start the day off, just knowing I'm going to get to go home to this freshly made, comfortable bed.
That does
You
nothing for me.
You want to go out and you want to work and have a good
Nope.
time, and like I do. I
Okay,
don't know what
so
it
for
is.
those-
I thought it was crazy.
For those who wake up in the morning, like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and the first thing they do besides getting out of bed is go up to the window and open the shade.
Oh, I don't do that.
And it's like, wow, look, oh, it's a
It gets
beautiful
stereotypes.
day. It's
Doesn't
like
happen anymore.
that.
No.
You can look at that. The people that will stare out the window, be like, oh, look at the sun, it's beautiful. Look at the birds and the trees and everything. And then that helps them have a better day because they woke up and saw the beautiful day that's outside. So if you make your bed, that can remind you in the back of your head that you're somewhat neat and you keep your quarters organized to a certain degree.
Right.
Right.
It's the same thing as open the window. It adds light to the room or,
Right.
or opening the shade.
But okay, like you're saying though, this is relatable too. Now think about it, because lots of people also meditate in the morning. As soon as they wake up, they don't get out of bed. They have 5 minutes of meditation in bed. But you know what? Maybe it is these morning routines. Think about it. That will help you get more organized and focused
Right.
versus the same every 5 minutes, hitting the snooze, popping out of your bed and running like hell. You understand? Like it's just like fury. So if you're doing that, you're just having this type of behavior and this pattern. Do you really think that it can, it seems like it just seems so disorganized.
Maybe.
You can add going to the gym into one of those things in the morning and make that part of your routine instead of hitting the
True.
snooze 2 or 3 times. You get
But
up,
do you think it would be
grab
better
your gym bag,
overall?
off you go.
Right. Even mentally though, do you think it's better? Like even making your bed, are you happier? Like you said, do you think
Maybe,
that
I
it's
don't know.
just,
It's
Maybe just changing part of your routine will add
It's a s-
change to your life.
it's
in
a step
different way.
towards being more responsible.
it doesn't that feel good though?
It's,
You know
it's
what?
gotta
As we
make
get older,
it's gotta
every
make
time,
you feel better somewhere, knowing that you at least did something.
When
Like-
what? No, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry,
no.
go ahead.
Like on my days off, I do my things. I get my laundry out. Boom, I'm in the laundry room for an hour and a half with 2 loads of clothes.
right.
And in the meantime, I'm doing other things in my room because I just moved in, so I'm still going through boxes, totes, putting things away. So there's still a lot of clutter around the place. So,
Doesn't that make you feel though frustrated?
but at the same time,
No, but
you're,
he's
you're
excited
going
'cause he moved
through
in.
you're going through things that you've collected. And if you're gonna make any resolution in the world, look at your junk that you've been hoarding
We're
for
gonna talk
20
about
or
this one day.
25 years.
Definitely.
And one of your resolutions in the back of your mind is to get rid of some of your S word. You know what I mean?
No, that while we were on break, I did a lot of research, just even into cleaning or minimizing minimalist videos.
Yeah.
But there's what's called like in Sweden is really big.
Hygge.
It's called And is that death cleaning? Also, there's a word for it, but there's death cleaning.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That they practice in Sweden, but it's going through a thorough cleaning, like of your house. Like if you were to die tomorrow, who gets what? Okay,
Oh.
and then whatever.
That's too depressing. My
Actually,
grandmother
no.
does
But
that.
you have to
Really, but it's actually a great like minimalist way, and you actually get rid of a lot of clutter and junk because otherwise, what are they going to do with it?
That's true.
when you pose that question in your mind, then it opens up all these realms that you have to explore in the event that you're not vertical. You know,
True.
so it's like that. So it's not a bad thing to think about. And I got a lot of junk. I moved out of my mom's house when I was 22. And so since 2000, I've been living out of the house, out of the nest and everything. My mom was like, take all your stuff. Don't leave anything here. My skateboard's still there, a couple other things. But I look at the stuff I'm carrying from one apartment to another, one house to another, wherever I'm going. And all the times I've moved.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff. And I got some stuff that I just take one box from one place to another. Don't even open it. Don't even go through it.
Yeah.
So a resolution I made right when we were moving last month, my roommate and I, was go through your stuff, and the stuff that's farthest back on the calendar, get rid of that stuff.
Right.
Or start condensing it.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a Goodwill place right around the corner. So everything's going there.
Yeah.
You know? And someone else, it can be repurposed for something else. And that's what you have to do with your life. You know, you have to put it in perspective, especially for us, because we're turning a major corner this year, you yourself today.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look at things in a different way than you had the past 30 years.
And now I don't want anything. Like I have nothing. And I just, I plan on moving into a condo soon. And I don't have, like, I don't want to take a bunch of junk. I'm glad that I've lost lots of things along the way, or I've gotten rid of them. I've done that cleanse.
There's some things you wish you could find, though.
Oh, there are. I have dreams about things.
I'm missing some autographs. I'm missing some T-shirts that I keep having recurring dreams about. That's really weird you said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's strange.
Okay, so first of all, before we go to break, I want Drew to cue up our special birthday message for Joy. But before we get to that, we were greeted in the new year by a freaking cold front.
Yes.
Our whole country was gripped in cold. Where
bomb cyclone.
Yes, last week, the last Tuesday, the average temperature across the country was 9 degrees. 9 degrees in the United States.
Thunder, snow.
There's
a problem with that.
That's cold.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Thankfully, we have recovered from that here in Florida. I know much of the country is still digging out and experiencing crazy cold weather. And their winters are not even close to being over. But thankfully, here in South Florida, we get a week of what we consider cold, and then back to 70s and 80s.
Today was the first day my thermostat in the house was over 70. It was 73 when I got home from work.
Well, I finally caved last week and I turned on my heater. I was trying so hard not to.
Really? Siobhan,
Wow,
you
really?
turned on your
I
heater?
turned on my heater last Thursday.
Who makes fun of me turning on my heater?
It's the beginning of the end.
When I
That
turn
means
on
it's cold.
When I turn on my heater now, I think of you. Oh, it's not that cold. That's what I
It
think
was last week.
when I turn on my heater.
Hanging meat in your closet.
But here's a quick geography lesson or recap in case you forget. We live in the northern hemisphere, and so for us right now, it's winter. There are countries and parts of the world that are in the southern hemisphere, and for them right now, it's summer,
Right.
Yes.
boys and girls. And speaking of Sydney, Australia, the land down under is experiencing record-breaking temperatures of 117 degrees. Holy cow. So yeah, they're actually, I'll take it back, 116 degrees. Their record is 117, which was set 80 years ago.
That 1 degree, though, boy,
Makes
must make a
difference.
difference.
It's still
Pants,
hot.
no pants.
And then, yeah, so yeah, those, our friends down under are sweating it out, and we are
it's big.
freezing it.
They are. And like
Big
I had
difference.
asked Siobhan earlier, though, before the show when we were talking about this. Now, we had all just gone through Irma. Some of us didn't have power, for a good week. We were in sweltering hot temperatures. And then, the other night I was just sitting there thinking about the people like getting blizzard-like weathers. And it, if their electricity goes out, then I'm thinking, would I rather be stuck here in the heat in a hurricane with no power, or in a blizzard with no power with the ice and snow? Now, what would you rather, Chris? You've seen both.
The thing is, with winter, people forget or tend to forget that it lasts for maybe
Long time?
8 to 12 weeks.
Right. But we're talking a blizzard.
Up in the Northeast where I'm
Mhm.
from. The blizzard, when it's cold after the blizzard, nothing will move. The snow won't melt. The ice won't melt. It just stays that really cold, bitter cold. Even if there's nothing coming down, it's still really cold. And it's so cold that even the sun being up won't melt anything or won't reduce anything until the temperature actually starts to pick up.
Right.
So you're stuck looking at snow banks upon snow banks.
And I'm talking with no power.
You're driving over it because it won't melt.
Right.
So it's already packed in the ground for miles of many people driving over it. So when
post hurricane or post blizzard?
Oh God, blizzard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
I
you
vote
prefer.
hurricane. I vote
You
hurricane.
prefer post hurricane. I
Okay.
mean post blizzard.
I've never been in a post blizzard yet. I've been in post hurricanes that weren't so bad. I was about
Right.
7.
So
when
we're talking
Hurricane
both
Gloria hit
situations.
the Northeast.
Right. We're talking both situations, no power. So we're either in extreme heat temperatures
blizzard.
with
And I'll tell you why.
Go ahead,
If
'cause
you're
now I
properly
was thinking-
prepared,
right.
If you're in a climate that has the potential for blizzards like Denver, Washington, anywhere in Canada, the Northeast where I'm from, you have firewood, you have a fireplace, you have a chimney, you have all these different ways of getting or staying warm if you're properly prepared. Kerosene heaters, the generator,
right,
all sorts of things. It's easier to warm up
than to get
than
cold.
to cool off. Because when we were stuck in the post Irma here,
right.
My neighborhood wasn't that damaged, thankfully. We
Right.
lost power and some trees and limbs and fences and stuff. But I'm a heavy set guy. Thank God there's a radio show today. I sweat very easily.
Right.
I perspire or whatever you want to say. And it's very uncomfortable. You can't sleep. You can't relax.
It's nasty.
You can't watch TV. You
But
can't
then
do anything
it's
without
hard
power.
to do that with freezing bitter cold.
But when
at
it's
the same time.
yeah, but there's more ways. My point was there's more ways to get warm and stay warm.
Yeah.
And in
and
those
create
cold
energy
climates.
than to create colder.
Because not only that, but you can store food, you can pack food,
Yeah.
you can use the snow for water and the ice
Yeah.
for water. What can you do when you have
Yeah.
contaminated water
He's
and
for
nothing
once
to
right.
cool it? For once in 2018, everybody.
True. Post blizzard,
Yes.
post hurricane.
I've been in both.
Yeah.
That wasn't the question.
I know.
What's your preference?
Well, I think all three of us have
My-
experienced both.
Yeah, I
Joy,
haven't.
you haven't.
But
My
now,
preference?
yeah, your preference: post hurricane or post.
My preference
Pick
would
your
be,
poison.
My preference would be hurricane.
Post
Because
hurricane.
I can't stand
I
it.
agree with you.
However,
Yeah.
if I had to pick one, I have to agree with metal. It's easier to get warmer than it is to get
So then
cold.
why wouldn't
It's
you go
easier
first
to
blizzard?
stay warmer.
It's easier to stay warmer than it is to get cold.
I agree. You're
So
with
I'd
that,
say
John.
just
Post
cool
blizzard,
off.
post hurricane.
I'd say
I
blizzard.
say
Oh no, she did say
post-hurricane.
post hurricane. She did post hurricane because she said she'll go
I mean,
jump
I
in the
would.
pool.
I don't want to be in the blizzard. I mean, I'd rather be. At
Yeah.
post. However,
But I'm just thinking sitting at
it's
the
easier to
end when
survive.
it's over and
Now,
there's no power. and
I've
just
been in
ice.
snowstorms
It's easier-
where you
it's
are
easier.
told on the news to not drive on the roads until they're plowed or until
Right.
the county or anybody says it's okay. You stay off the roads. So that can be the same as blizzard conditions. Because now you can't drive to work. You can't do this. You can't do that. A lot of places are shut down and whatever. So I
Sledding
have
time.
been in conditions where you are
You're stuck.
kind of stranded until they tell you it's okay.
Mhm.
I've had to skate out to the mailbox before.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, where my
And
where,
I've lost power, but not to the point where it's out for weeks or days
where
dur-
my
during,
dad lives.
during winter storms.
Yeah, where my in Northeast, it's like that.
It happens.
You do get stuck in your house for a couple of days,
Yeah.
maybe a week at the most. I'm trying to remember when I was younger. We were stuck. We had power, but we were stuck for about, I want to say, a week. A good
You
week
can't
to
get out.
7 days, and we could not go anywhere.
You can't get out
And when
unless
my
they
dad
plow
lives,
you out.
it's
I know,
fur.
and that's what I was thinking too. You
It's
know, you
fur.
can't get groceries. You
Right.
can't
And
get.
You have to stock up, and it's a
Right.
fight for bread and
it's-
milk.
There's not
Yeah.
flat roads. It's like this.
Hills.
So yeah,
Not
you can,
mountains.
And when
you
the
make
big-
it this
yeah,
hill.
When the
Yeah.
big snow plows come down the street and they're plowing, they take a section of the snow that they're plowing, and when they pass your driveway,
all up in your
it
car.
pushes into your
Right.
driveway.
Well,
Everything you've just
It
shoveled
covers
out.
your car up.
I
so
got
you
it.
can't
I
get
got
to
it
your
better.
car.
Who lives like
my dad lives at
this?
the end of the block.
A
I
lot
used-
of people.
What are
For
they,
30 years, for
Neanderthals?
30 years of my life
My dad lives at the end of the block. All that snow ends up in his
in
driveway.
the
you go.
driveway.
So we couldn't use the driveway for a while because all that snow is piled in.
Makes me think of Ice Age. Like, who
Yeah.
lives like
It's
that?
bad.
What's going on?
But now the flip side of that, the fun side of that is, hey man, I'm off for school.
yeah,
I want to hang out at my friend's house. We're gonna go sledding for 3 or 4
Yeah,
hours.
you make up
you
for
can
it.
shove all your beers in the snow drifts, which are
Yeah.
these snow
we
banks
used
that
to
just
we used to
come
cook
up
food.
the side of the house.
You cook all your food and you put it outside. because it'll stay.
There are
it'll
many,
stay
many
flat.
more advantages to being in a cold, freezing climate.
I think you
and
live
being
longer. I
stranded.
think you live longer.
It's easier to find your body.
You have a stronger endurance. You build up a stronger tolerance to that sort of
I
weather.
think here we're in the heat. We're expiring. It's
But
like food. When you put
people
food,
like
we just
you,
rot.
people like you who were born here,
Right.
you have
My people like me. Your
Yes.
people.
You peoples.
Gotta bring what is this?
Who were born
bringing
here.
race into it now.
Yes, right.
You
South
peoples.
Florida.
If you weren't
Yes.
raised in it, you'll have a very low tolerance to it. You'll be like, paper thin
It
when you
is,
go
yeah.
up there in January.
It is. No, I agree because, like, I mean, my grandparents and all my family lived up there, but we only went up there, like, for a couple of weeks. As a kid, I could take it. When I became an adult, it's just less tolerable. But we're gonna take a break. Can I read a question real fast?
Read a question,
Yes.
and then we have a special birthday message for you.
Okay, so real fast, out of all of us, which one of us would hit on Disney characters at Disneyland?
Oh,
Land or
True.
Disney
Oh.
World? Can we say Disney
Disneyland.
World because we're in Florida? We're all in
Yes.
Florida.
Okay,
Disney
Disney
World.
World.
Perfect.
True.
No,
I think it would be Joy hitting on Prince Charming.
oh, that's a good point.
I'd have nothing nice to say because I'm so anti-Disney right now.
So am I.
yeah,
Like,
but that
I'm
wouldn't.
anti-Disney.
Yeah, but listen, come on. There's some princesses and sisters up there.
Oh, you're
The one-
anti-Disney?
the one from-
Sorry, I gotta
Like-
take this back.
Oh, no,
just kidding.
I'm not anti-Disney.
Just
I'm
kidding.
anti-Disney guests. Like, to patrons.
The chick from Aladdin then.
Oh.
I would say Joy
In real
would be
life?
flirting with Prince Charming
I
and
know.
Eric and all
Justin.
them.
No, Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go.
Oh, they took that part of the ride out where they had the
Yeah.
auction
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
now it's degrading.
I'd hit
No,
on
no, I
Jack
think it's still
Sparrow.
there.
They took it out. Disney said
No,
they were
they
taking
did.
it out.
They did take it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember seeing it, but
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah, I
gone.
saw. We were there
Isn't
last
it with
year.
the wenches? Wasn't it with
They were selling them at auction at
Yeah.
the bar or
Yes,
whatever it was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they took that off because now they're like, oh, we're selling women.
yeah.
Disney
Oh,
selling
You
them.
can have Prince Charming, but I get Captain
That's
Jack
fine.
Sparrow.
That's fine with me.
But who's the most likely of one of us? I
You.
guess-
Yeah,
I vote
yeah.
you.
I vote
Okay.
Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it is Captain Jack Sparrow, it is. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Joy
So is
gets
that
that
another
part.
unanimous 4?
That's
That's
yeah.
for Joy.
Okay.
Do you agree, Joy?
Okay,
I'll
Joy.
agree.
If
So,
not, it's a
Because
3.
now I'm getting turned on just thinking of Captain Jack Sparrow.
oh Lord. But,
Here we go.
okay,
God help us
so
all.
now we have a special message for you from Justin Bieber.
This one's for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Whoa.
I'm putting it on the record right now.
I'm calling the cops. I'm calling
Right
the
now,
cops.
all 3 of you and me. If that is played on my birthday or my celebration of my
Oh, I've already
birthday,
got a special message for
I
you.
will slash all of your tires.
I can't wait. Not to have my tires slashed, but to come up with stuff for your birthday.
Oh.
That will not be in the equation.
I don't know.
That is hideous. I can't unhear
I
that.
don't know.
I feel grateful. Thank you.
I heard him do Santa Claus
Thanks,
is coming
Justin.
to town.
Yes, thank you, Justin.
I thought it was Chris Brown.
my sister sent me a link that a picture of Justin Bieber reading the Bible today.
Okay.
He knows how to read.
The Bible.
So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we have lots more. Chris is coming up with his new segment. He's got a lot to tell us. And we've got sports, and we've got odd news, and we've got more of Most Likely To. Who's most likely to? Stay tuned to Now Trending Live right here at NowTrendingRadio.com. And we are back here to Now Trending Live on nowtrendingradio.com. January 8th. You know who I share my birthday with also?
Yes,
Ooh.
I know who.
They're deceased.
My cousin Caitlin.
My
Caitlin, was she
niece's
deceased
nephew.
also?
I'm sorry,
No.
my wife's niece's birthday today.
Oh, she's alive too, right?
Yes, she's alive.
But with
What is
Elvis
that noise?
Presley.
That's someone over there. Over here.
That would be you, Drew.
Wow, dude.
Sorry, trying to deflect.
Elvis Presley's birthday is today.
Wow, nice.
And
Oh,
David Bowie.
That way a little bit.
It's also David Bowie's birthday.
Nice.
Oh, he's deceased too, though.
He is.
Yeah, but
I know
so is
they're
Elvis.
deceased. Yeah, so is Elvis. But you know what? It's just always been like for me, like a lucky birthday. Just
It's cool, Bowie, man.
to share it with Elvis and David Bowie.
I have my birthday with Paul McCartney.
Okay, see,
Woohoo!
I share mine with David Letterman.
that's a good one. It's also R. Kelly's birthday today, but I don't like him, so I don't.
Oh yeah,
usually
you don't
like
want no
him.
one peeing on you.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
about
Yeah, who
that.
gives two craps about him?
Oh yeah, you care.
So we're back before we get started with Chris and his segment in sports.
Spots.
His sports
Oh, are we-
spots.
Sports.
Huh?
Sports.
We're doing the sports segment first.
Yeah.
Spots.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Works for
so
me.
you guys ready for another question?
Yeah.
Before
Yeah,
we get
sure, go.
started,
Who's most likely to?
go out to dinner with friends and forget their wallet at home?
Oh, I know. Okay, what is that?
Go ahead. Who?
That is you.
Ah!
Joy, I think you got another card.
Yeah, I think you forget. Not saying conveniently.
Hasn't someone in
Just
this
think
room
like July.
actually done that when he went out?
Yeah, I don't think that
Wasn't
was
it Joy?
me.
No, I think it was me.
A group of people.
I pay. Usually Lewis got me. I had a rough year though. Like, I mean, like, what was it last year?
Yeah.
Rue covered me a couple times. Okay.
Who would you say though?
I don't know.
Can we skip and go to the next one?
Okay, you
Let's
want
do
another
that.
Because we don't go out that much as
Not
we
No, we
anymore.
should.
used to. No, yeah.
So the
Okay.
chances for that happening, even though it was go out
Okay.
with your friends, not necessarily us.
Okay, you guys
What is-
ready?
what is-
She's already laughing. She's got
Okay.
these already picked out.
Out of the
I
four
know,
of
right?
us,
Who's most likely to?
has never looked at porn.
Has
look,
never?
Look at the shy one over there. Oh,
Oh, you guys are all
what's going
pointing at
on?
me.
Is that maybe,
Okay, who's looked
Julian.
at the least porn? Who's
Julian?
looked at the least porn?
Oh.
Oh, at
Like that
least.
Seinfeld episode.
Siobhan, you get that card.
Fucking crap.
No,
It's the
only,
quiet ones you got to worry about,
no,
baby.
only because we were discussing.
You in
today,
porn? What?
No, we were in the break room today discussing like when we were younger things that like our parents would
Oh,
let
yeah,
us
that's
watch.
true.
And
That
out
doesn't
of
count.
Howard the
Yeah,
Duck,
but
we got to
I'm
watch Howard the
sure-
Duck. Siobhan couldn't watch Howard the Duck.
Wow,
okay?
really? Why?
I'm
Because
sure.
it was a sex scene?
I don't know why, but my
It
parents
was
said
a little
no.
weird.
I'm sure when I was
It was.
13, I was looking at different things than you guys were.
Oh,
Oh yeah, like what?
Oh, you want that? It's those quiet
Was
ones.
this in the segment?
What do I not know?
No, I'm saying that I'm sure I wasn't
those
looking at
quiet ones.
porn when I was 13, when you guys probably might have been looking at something.
Well, porn is a subjective title. It could be anything.
I think
porn.
boys look at porn earlier than girls.
Way early.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on,
Girls
Drew.
wait and they're nervous
No.
about it. I don't think I've seen my first porno. Like I didn't watch the whole thing.
Now, does this cover everything from magazines to videos?
That's a good
Yes.
question.
And
That's a
because
good
when I
question.
was a kid,
Yes.
it was magazines and videotapes
Right.
and
Yes.
cards, like baseball cards.
There's
But they
baseball
were-
cards.
There were.
They weren't like female athletes, if that's what you mean.
But they had cards.
That's not a bad in her hand.
They had Playboy cards. There were
What?
Hustler cards.
This is news to me.
Comic
I think
book
I've heard of
stores
them.
back in the 90s used to sell these.
I bet you
In
we
the
can make money. I
background.
bet you.
I
we bring
still
something like
have
that
some.
back.
No, we can't bring it.
Yeah, porn cards.
No, honey, it's
I
not gonna
still-
work. There's
Trading
free porn
cards?
on the
It's like
internet. Why-
garbage pail kids. I still buy them.
There's free porn on the internet. Why would you buy cards?
I
It's
buy
a special
garbage pail
niche.
kids.
I think
I'm
people would
speaking
buy
for a
them.
friend
Yeah.
He'll live out here.
on these cards. No, but
Yeah.
at the comic book stores back in the day, they
How
sold.
old were you? Like, okay, when you seen her first, like, looked at it, like, you saw porn, like, for
But
girls,
when you say it, what do you mean? You
Yeah,
see
you gotta
it
be more-
first the
anything, any
magazine
of the magazine
No.
video.
Anything.
because the whole scope changed.
Yeah, it
like
does.
from when looking at a magazine
Yes.
to
Okay.
seeing a video.
What did you look
When's
at
the first time
A
you
video,
seen
a picture,
pornographic content, whether it be a magazine,
TV? I saw a naked woman on the screen, and I don't remember
fully
the movie.
naked, or
How
just
old
the
were
top?
you?
What is it, a pseudo
6, 5, 7, something like in that area. The thing was, you saw the woman like from the front of the chest and everything. I think it was Conan the Barbarian. I think.
But does that count as porn?
Doesn't count as
But
porn.
where are the guidelines to this question?
Okay, now let's talk about this. Let's talk about porn, such as magazines
Are
or
we
videos.
supposed to be talking about sports?
No, but listen,
We were.
We'll get there in a
got
minute. We'll
this
get
card.
there.
Magazines or
Get it.
videos.
But you remember the first segment? What we talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about like like magazines or videos, porno videos. Not
Hey,
okay,
that
not the
changes.
HBO
That
movies.
puts a whole new paint job on
Right.
the
When was
question.
the first time?
Paint job.
Right.
Are you serious?
You know what I'm doing.
All right. Answer.
Drew, go ahead. I
Oh.
gotta think of mine.
Either Playboy or video.
I think it was a magazine.
Or a magazine.
It was
Yeah.
a magazine.
I think
Kind
like
of
Playboy
I
magazine.
would say I found my dad's magazine.
I like how
and why was I in the bottom of the closet in the back? I couldn't tell you.
And
Kids
how
always
old-
rummage
wait,
through their parents'
How old
stuff.
were you?
Well, it had to be when we moved to the house.
He's really thinking about this.
I'd say
These aren't-
13, 14, I think.
Okay.
These aren't things you bring up every day. These
Right.
are, these
Yeah,
are
so
memories.
So when's the
from,
first time though you? Okay. now-
Is that or that
I-
a friend
It was
showed me
a, it was a
one or two.
magazine.
uh-huh.
I think it was Hustler
Right.
How
I think it
old
was
were you?
Because-
yeah.
because Playboy
Was
more
expensive.
articles and stories and then some pictures, but they weren't
There-
porno pictures. They
yeah.
weren't disgusting.
Right.
The women were
It was
Show-
art.
All right, what
showcased
about video though?
and
Your first
portrayed.
porn video. How old were you when you seen your first porn video?
12.
I think we were at somebody's house. It must have been like 14.
Right. Everybody's
Well,
always
see-
at someone's house. Go ahead.
I was at someone's house.
Yeah.
The point raised was that boys see it earlier than girls. And
Yes.
so far,
But-
you guys are saying about 13, 14 years old for both of
Video.
you. So
Now, but that's
Joy-
the same thing about 13 or 14. years
Magazines
old.
about
Okay.
9 or 10.
Oh, see, there you go. 9 or 10. He's got you
Yeah,
right
magazines.
there.
I'd say. Well, magazines.
A
I'd say
video
maybe
not
like
till I was
11,
about 12 or 13.
But
I think I was 12.
What about you, Siobhan? Like a porn video?
Honestly,
Yeah.
She was
he's
watching other
probably
things.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
see?
Yesterday. I saw
Now
it
you know why
yesterday.
you got the card.
I know.
I
So
saw it
everyone's got a
yesterday.
card except me, huh?
I saw it yesterday.
Or I might win. I might actually win something.
Yes.
So go ahead, win us with your segment.
Okay, the
Till we get
sports
to the
segment.
next question.
Oh, I was thinking porn segment.
Porn segment. Now
No,
we're at
that's
the porn
not our-
segment.
no, we are not at that.
Well, the show has gone kind of awry. It's kind of deviated
track?
from
Sorry, I'll be
the
right
show
back.
sheet because that first segment was
Yeah.
I had to add in what we talked about, so I did make a few changes
I want to have
to
a
the
fun
show
show
sheet.
today. I wanted to keep it
It was
lighthearted.
the
coming
great
back.
way to kick off the new year because I find it to be way more interactive with this freestyle approach to every topic.
Right.
And this game,
Hell yeah!
and this game really is really helping out because like going from one segment to another, taking a card out that we talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
kind of really cool. But as far as sports go, the big story of the day is the college football national championship game tonight, which features Alabama and Georgia.
Yes.
And Alabama is favored by 4 points. The game is in Atlanta, which, ironic because Georgia is playing and they're from there and whatnot. I think it's going to be a great game.
Okay.
I'm picking Georgia to win this game
There you
because
go.
everybody thinks, why?
There
Because
you
you're
go.
from there?
I'm not from Georgia.
I thought you were.
Georgia.
Oh,
He's up from like
Georgia?
Maryland. He's up
Can't
with
stand
you.
Georgia. No,
I thought you were from
I just,
Georgia.
no.
I thought you were a Southern boy.
No, oh no, I'm
Forgive me.
I'm native New Yorker.
He's a Yankee.
I'm actually probably closer to you than to Georgia.
Okay, cool.
I think but I agree with you. I think it's Georgia because of that. No one's picking them. No one thinks they got
No
there
one
for a
thought they
reason.
were going to beat
Right.
Oklahoma.
And also, they kind of came out of nowhere because
Their defense is
they were
underrated.
back. They were way back.
The defense is underrated. I watched the game against Oklahoma, and it was solid. I knew they were going to win, even though they fell into a hole early in the game.
Mhm.
That is what motivates you to come back when you're down 14,
Yeah.
13 points or
And
17.
if you have it in you to do it, you do it.
You know what I mean? And they did it, and they took defensive takeaways. They sacked the quarterback. They
You
made
do it.
they
You do
made
it.
that guy Baker Mayfield or Hunter Mayfield, whatever his name is.
The
The
Heisman
guy who
winner?
got 2 first names or whatever. The guy who was supposed to be
Yeah.
awesome failed.
Is he coming
They
out?
hyped him up. They overhyped him, and his team lost. Not because of him.
Yeah, because
They were outplayed. The other team executed.
Is he
when they
coming
had
out?
to.
Is he coming out to the draft? Or
Baker
no?
Mayfield, I believe he is. I don't really know. I'm not following him. I just heard his name mentioned in all this.
Well,
this
he was
talk
he's a
leading
Heisman
up
winner.
to
That's
this.
fine. He's a Heisman winner.
That's good, but that doesn't.
No, I agree.
It's a team game. You win the national championship. If you get an award along the way, great.
I said Georgia
But
by
you win
10
the
points.
game. I'm going to say Georgia's going to win. I don't know how many points it's going to be.
10.
I
Only
think
because
it's
of
going to be. It's obviously the normal elements: the team with the fewest mistakes, or the team who capitalizes on
their
mistakes. So you're talking a fumble or pick. I think there's going to be some picks that are going to change the tide for Georgia. Change the momentum for Georgia.
Now the coach for Georgia is a old Saban assistant.
That's great. He's not on the field.
No, and I think Saban still is beating his old assistants.
That's fine. But remember, Alabama lost last year. Clemson came out.
Lost twice this year, didn't they?
Clemson came out and showed them who was the better team. This can easily happen with Georgia. It was just like when the Patriots beat the Rams in 2001. They said that the Rams already had the rings made because they were supposed to stomp that team.
Because they won the year before.
Granted, it was a field goal at the end of the game, but it was 2 picks by Ty Law, and one was a pick 6, I believe. One was a pick 6. I don't know if both of them were, but he had 2 picks in that game. Brady still got MVP.
That was
but
the defense for them.
The defense won those games.
That was the only game I rooted for them.
Right after 9/11 and the Patriots and the whole red, white, and blue, the whole thing.
The whole thing was on them.
Country was united, you know. Fast forward 15 to 16 years, 17. This team, I mean, everybody makes a big deal about Alabama. There's teams that can beat them. Georgia can easily win this game. I didn't say easily beat them. They can easily win this game.
Let me ask you a question. Sort of related to this scenario. UCF, I think it is. Declared themselves national champions because they went 13-0.
How many teams were undefeated though?
None.
Just them?
Just them.
In the entire scope of college football,
as I know, I think
there's
only
10 million teams throughout the country.
You know that? I don't know. As far as I know, I think it was just them.
It's the same reason as why did Florida State get into a bowl game if they were like 6-6, and they were teams like you know,
with this.
Then that should be your answer there. Maybe UCF didn't have enough of this to get them into a bowl game.
Okay.
Do they deserve to be in one? Yes.
They got to a bowl game.
This is becoming a participation trophy for every team. Now every team wants something.
Well, they got it.
They got this bowl, they got that bowl, the sugar bowl, the oyster bowl, the cereal bowl, all these things.
Flannel bowl.
You know, and it's just it gives a rip. This is what they're playing for, the national championship.
Extend the playoff feature to include more teams.
Participation trophy all over again.
Let's say you take the top 5 teams.
There's too many different conferences and divisions and this and that. Notre Dame has way more money than Western Arkansas University or something like that. If that's a real university.
No, Western Kentucky.
But take a school like that and compare it to like school on the Water Boy. You know, this backwoods Louisiana school and everything.
That's good water. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
How do you where do you make those lines and those brackets and how to get people in? You don't want these kids to play more games and stand the chance of getting injured or altering their careers or their lifestyle or even their lives to say all these different things. That's why I'm not a big college football fan, because there's too many teams. Which one do you follow? Do you roll with everybody and be like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, UCLA?
It's hard. You're right. It's hard because there are so many, and only the ones that are more popular tend to get the best stuff.
I like to follow my college teams from home, and they're more basketball and hockey.
So
like hockey, like Brown University, Providence College, things like that, and then basketball, Providence College, URI. But as far as the other teams go, it's just
Georgetown.
There's just areas of the country that dominate in those sports. And you're going to see them in the bowl games. You're going to see them in the tournaments. They're going to be on the national game on ESPN or ABC or whatever it is, rather than a school from like the backwoods of Mississippi or
that's
something.
The one thing I appreciate when you do the March Madness, because there are those smaller teams that create that upset and knock out those big boys out of the way. And they don't go maybe another week or two or another game or two, but for that moment, they got a shot. You know, they got their shot.
There's could be football teams, college teams that finish with the same record, but one gets a bowl game, the other one doesn't.
Right.
Something about that. There's the same reason with the same way the basketball does it. You get a tournament before the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It could be
Yeah.
like a round robin. It could be like a regional thing. It could be like
Right.
this was the best team out
You
of this
won't-
region.
Right. You won't get to be ranked so and so in your region if you don't win your tournament.
That's what it's got to be. You're in kind of thing. But you know, when teams finish with the same record, 9-0 or 12-0, whatever it is,
Then they're supposed
then
to
you
go
have
to
to go to other
strength of their schedule, which I don't want to read.
and things like that. So that being said, back to the whole college football thing.
Yes, sorry.
The national championship game tonight, because we went off on a very valid discussion.
Mm-hmm.
One I don't have an answer for because again, I'm not a huge college fan. I watch the local teams at home and things like that. So this game tonight, everybody's picking Bama. You and I are picking Georgia because I don't want to call them underdogs. I think Bama's the underdog in my opinion. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be 20-17, 20-16, something low, and a missed field goal or a pick will alter this game, like dramatically.
I think it's going to be a little higher. However, I think it's somewhere about 10 points. Someone.
And like a 31 type.
And again, the last point.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the last point will be like a field goal that seals.
I'm probably going to be wrong because it's college, so they're going to have a shootout.
Yeah,
because both offenses are very, very potent. So you're probably right. But again, I think a pick or a missed field goal or a blocked field goal or a sack and a fumble, one of those oddities are going to change the momentum of this game for one of them. But I think Georgia will win.
I think they will too.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you, guys. So now we've
Thank
got
you.
another segment coming up with the lovely Chris Medal. Chris, what do you got for us?
Medals minute.
That's right. Medals minute.
It's
Dun,
good.
dun,
It's
dun,
going to
dun.
be.
We need some. Dun, dun,
Might be
dun,
a
dun.
little
We got to
longer
get
than
this
1
guy to cue up some metal music, and I don't see anything up in the queue, so don't play anything that's there.
You don't want Justin Bieber playing for you?
No, thank you. I don't think you should play for anyone. Today's
not metal. Oh,
Ish.
sorry.
No.
Sorry.
close, but okay.
Just dive right in there, Chris.
A is for Alibi, which is one of the many books written by an author named Sue Grafton. I've known about this woman. She just recently passed away a couple of weeks ago. Born Sue Taylor Grafton. She passed away December 28th, 2017. She's an American author of detective novels. Now, I'm not much of a reader as much as I should be, but if I was, I would read books like hers because the titles are so captivating. The titles are, letters of the alphabet, all of them. She had a good streak going for a while, but she didn't quite make it to the end of the alphabet. But I am going to read all the titles and the gripping titles, the cover right there. Say goodbye. A is for alibi. B is for burglar. C is for corpse. D is for deadbeat. E is for evidence. F is for fugitive. G is for gumshoe, which is a rank of a police officer or detective. H is for homicide. I is for innocent. J is for judgment. K is for killer. L is for lawless. M is for malice. N is for noose. O is for outlaw. P is for peril. Q is for quarry. R is for ricochet. S is for silence. T is for trespass. U is for undertow. V is for vengeance. W is for wasted. X just says X. There's nothing there.
Ooh.
Y is for yesterday.
We never made it to Z.
Never made it to Z, but there was a title. There was a title and, a working title at least. But
Right.
according to Mama Metal, who is her biggest fan,
Mhm.
now she's made these novels over the span of 20, 30 years, something like that. My mother has practically every single one on a shelf in the living room at her house.
Right.
In order from A to almost Z. And I remember seeing that she wouldn't get them from the library. She would go out and buy them. because she's read them a number of times, not just once and put them away. She
Right.
enjoys reading these books. These books are captivating. It's like Murder, She Wrote on acid, because there's so much more detail in books than on the screen.
There are, absolutely.
And this one is very captivating, according to my mother. And Mama Metal knows a lot. She reads all the time.
Right, but so the author never got to Z.
Never made it to Z, but there was a title, and it was Z is for Zero.
Oh.
So I'm sure she had some cliff notes and maybe a notepad of ideas and things, but there was never a plot or anything ever discussed other than the title.
Do we know how long ago it was since she made Y?
I could look, but then there would be some really odd silence.
Oh yeah,
on here.
no,
so
absolutely.
I will
That's
research
cool. I just
that
wanted to know,
and
like,
we'll bring that
how
up.
long in between, like, does she go in between, books?
I
But it's just
imagine
like, it's a
it
creative
was-
way for an author to think of titles. Some authors, I would never think of that. I've always thought sometimes of like, okay, writing a book here or there, but I've never thought like as an author, like I've thought, how do they come up with their titles? How do they? But to actually take A through Z and to use that as like your guide.
Because there's so many
it's a great
things,
idea.
directions you can go when your stories are on the same track.
Right.
Because they're detective stories, so they're like crime dramas, like you're thinking Columbo, Murder, She Wrote, all sorts of things, even Father Dowling mysteries to a certain degree.
Right.
All sorts of things like that. And if you love the murder type shows, like my mom loves the crime dramas and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Law and
All
Order,
us women
things
do.
like that,
Right.
She has all these. She's enjoyed every book. She has read every single one.
Right.
And my mom told me about it the other day, and I remember her just collecting them like my entire life. And I thought it would be an interesting piece for my first Metal Minute here on the show, a Metals Minute as it is here on the show. I thought it'd be pretty cool because I learned something from, my mother explaining all these things to me. So I wanted to share it. And, we get a whole new appreciation. So if you're ever looking to read something, it's a break from all the technology, from looking at your phone and your computer and your TV. You can actually curl up with a book. And these are the type of books that you won't put down because they're very, very gripping.
So retro.
You know what I mean? It's the way it is. Keep your mind sharp, keep your eyes focused, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks, Mama Metal. I know you'll listen to this show at some point.
Yes, thank you for that, Chris Metal.
Say hi to Mama Metal.
Hi, Mama Metal. Everybody say hi to Mama Metal.
Hey, Mama Metal.
I want to go to Mama Metal's house and eat
Drew?
pasta.
How you doing, Mama?
Yeah, I want to go like on a snowy day to Mama Metal's.
I'm gonna beat you down there.
It just sounds right though, Mama
Absolutely.
Metal.
Oh, she'll make something.
So we're ready for our next question.
We are.
Most likely to question: who should have been Amish?
Oh.
Not me.
No, I wasn't even going to go with you.
I know.
Yes, you were.
Say it, it's
I
definitely
was.
not.
I was.
Chris Metal.
Why?
You're a menace to society.
How so? And how are the Amish menaces to society?
Menace to society.
We got Amish Paradise on there?
I think you'd be great in one of those hats and a horse buggy. I'm going with Chris Metal. Should have been Amish.
Should have.
Also, I couldn't win this game.
Out of the four,
Drew.
of us, yeah, no, I would say Chris too.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna be anywhere near
Drew,
that.
you're going to betray
Drew,
me?
the big 6'5" African American.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be
He's
anywhere
not
near
gonna be
that.
Amish.
I'm
Judas, all of you.
Sorry, it's
Judas.
honestly, I
We'll
would
call him Drudis.
Judas.
Drudis will be
Drudis.
his Amish name.
honestly, I would say
Who should have been Amish?
the farmer girl, but this is
No,
me.
I cannot live without electricity. I am too much of a princess. I could not be Amish.
Who
There's
do
no
you
way.
say?
I say Chris.
I say Chris Metal.
This is not fair.
I think you'd be great in one of those suits and the hats and your horse and buggy. There
Sorry,
you go.
Chris. You're not gonna. I mean, you're not.
Drew and I
losing.
didn't vote.
Who did you get?
Who do you choose?
You should run because you grew up in the country.
And Drew says me also. So it's a tie. Tie between me and Chris. So it goes right here. In the middle
Flip
of
a coin.
Goes in the middle.
Should we have a
You'll fix that by mine.
a tie buster?
Yes.
Should we have a tie buster?
We're not done
Yes,
yet.
and the winner gets both cards.
Huh?
Oh.
And the winner gets both
no,
cards.
That's not fair.
You want
Let's go to a break and figure this out during the break.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we've got odd news. We've got what are the awards?
The Golden Globe.
The Oprah Awards.
No.
Ooh, shots fired.
So make sure you stay tuned right here to Now Trending Live on NowTrendingRadio.com.
I never saw the video for that, Drew.
You want to see it?
I've heard the song a million times. I've just never watched the video.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, 1 second. I'll
You
pull
left the
it.
mics on.
Turn off the mic now.
Okay, 1 moment.
I really don't care. In fact, I wish him well. Cause I'll be laughing my head off when he's burning in hell. But I ain't never punched a tourist even if
Number 3.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi, with 23.5 million and 572 million overall. Number 2.
People who need help with matters that can't be explained come to me. These hauntings can be terrifying things. I should know. I've faced many evils in my life.
Insidious: The Last Key, with 29.2 million. And number 1.
I'm an overweight middle-aged man. I don't have my Claritin, and all I see around here is pollen. Well, I don't have the top 2 feet of my body.
Damn, that is a man right there. Don't cry, don't cry. Cry, it's gonna be okay.
Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, with 36 million and 244 million overall. Opening this week.
This is a devastating security breach that was leaked out of the Pentagon. The most highly classified documents of the war.
The Post: a cover-up that spanned 4 U.S. presidents pushed the country's first female newspaper publisher and a hard-driving editor to join an unprecedented battle between journalist and government. Starring Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, and Sarah Paulson.
I suppose you know who I am. Oh, yes. You're a very famous actor. VIP, celebrity. Or used to be. Now you do dog food commercials.
Paddington 2. Paddington, now happily settled with the Brown family and a popular member of the local community, picks up a series of odd jobs to buy the perfect present for his Aunt Lucy's 100th birthday, only for the gift to be stolen. Starring Ben Whishaw, Hugh Grant, and Hugh Bonneville.
What if I asked you to do something that could profoundly affect an individual on this train? Someone on this train does not belong. All you have to do is find them. In the bathroom, there's $75,000. That money is yours if you do this one little thing.
I thought this was hypothetical.
You have until next stop to decide. What kind of person are you?
The Commuter. A businessman is caught up in a criminal conspiracy during his daily commute home, starring Liam Neeson, Vera Farmiga, and Patrick Wilson.
And we're back here to Now Trending live on nowtrendingradio.com. So we've had like a great time today. I think we've had more fun than anything else. So we've got another guest like in the studio here. We've got the lovely Isaac joining us. How are you doing today, Isaac?
Sure,
It's
Isaac.
DJ Ice Cold
What
in the
up?
house.
What's going on? Happy Monday, y'all.
Cold.
And he has DJ Isaac is actually Ice Cold has actually been a guest on our show before.
That's true.
So
Happy birthday, Joy.
thank you, Ice Cold. Thank you. This is so sweet coming from you. I'm gonna cry.
Mr. Cold.
I'm gonna take
Even
my
better
bra
than
off and
Justin
throw it at
Bieber.
him. He's a celebrity. So during the whole show, we've been playing a game that's called Who's Most Likely To. So what it is I pull out a card and I read whatever who's most likely to, and we all point our fingers at who we think who's most likely to.
Oh, okay.
So you've come in at a fun time. We actually had a tie in the last one, but we'll start off fresh with this card. Are you guys ready for it?
Yeah,
Ready?
Now you're the tiebreaker, dude. So
Tiebreaker.
yeah, because
Okay, so is this going to be a tiebreaker between Siobhan and Chris?
No, this is just a new round.
Okay, so it's Siobhan said, no,
Because
no.
He's an odd
I'm
person.
still under
He's an odd
protest with this tie, or possession of the card.
person.
Now
Yeah,
remember,
it
this
is.
is just a game. It's not serious.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't
No, I'm
think
joking,
any of these
joking
things-
around, of course.
So out of which one of us, who is down to cook a little meth?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Jesus.
Angie is.
Oh,
Angie is.
oh, jeez. Oh,
She came
Jesus.
in and raised her hand.
Oh,
I don't
jeez.
think Angie's in the scoring for this.
She is now.
But she can vote. She can vote for the
I
floor.
vote Angie.
Yeah, I vote Angie.
Down to-
She's a millennial.
No one will ever suspect her.
See? Okay.
I vote Siobhan because she's originally from Utah. So
Not from Utah.
That's what I heard. Utah, yeah.
I am not from Utah. And I don't know who in Utah cooks meth.
All of them.
Do
I
they?
think so.
I didn't know
I'm
that
quite
was a thing.
sure.
If they're not with the Church of Latter-day Saints, then they're
Latter
cooking
Day.
meth. Latter-day.
Wait, Isaac, is that your
If
real
I'm hanging out with
answer, though?
Mitt Romney.
You'd really say me? Yeah. Wow.
The Siobhan. Who? Okay, Chris. Who was down to cook a little meth?
I'd never look at porn, but I would cook meth. Apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Oh,
But I
honey.
got that card.
Oh, honey.
Should we pick another question? I just thought it was funny.
No,
I
but
thought,
everybody except Julian included here.
yeah, yeah. Please don't include the kid.
No.
Yeah. DCF, can I help you?
Let me see. Let me see. I'll answer and then I'll say why.
Okay.
No, this will be good.
My answer, I'm just going to
Angie.
We 2 votes
Angie,
for
and I'll tell you-
one
and
vote for Angie.
I'm going with Angie is down to cook a
Love you,
little
number
meth.
one.
Angie,
But
voted
here's-
for
love you.
herself.
Here's why. It's the innocent minion face and outlook
Yeah.
and everything. That nobody thinks she's got this massive lab going on somewhere in any town, USA, where she might be residing, which I won't say where, but
South Florida somewhere.
somewhere in South Florida. Let's say the 305
88th
somewhere.
Street.
But you would look at her face, you'd be like, nah, come on. Never. Never.
So you're,
Not
saying,
Angie.
so you're saying for the business point of it, she would be. she'd
She
be your
would
choice.
roll through the airport.
Looking at me like, like, you know what?
Compared to any of us trying to pull it off.
I'd blow the block up. I wouldn't even attempt to because you know why? I'd be the one and I'd have a teaspoon less of whatever it's
Yep.
supposed to be. And
My
the whole
trailer out the
block-
backyard would be in flames.
I mean, like the whole block would go kaboom.
Yeah.
Would be me. So I wouldn't even go there.
But Angie's got all the skills
True,
because
you
she's
didn't
a
answer.
millennial.
Yeah, she's a millennial. The millennials, yeah. I think the
So
millennials.
she's got all the skills because that's what they're teaching now.
So we all agree that Angie is the one who's down to cook a little meth in
Yep.
this room.
Angie gets the card. That didn't really
So
help our
wrong.
game.
No, it didn't help.
That's okay.
She's got more.
All right. Are we going to talk about the Golden Globes?
We are. You're going to talk about the Golden Globes.
First of all, Drew, hit that soundbite from Mr. Franco, please.
Sure.
And thank you.
Finally, my brother. When I went to NYU, I always said I wanted my own Coen brother, someone to collaborate with. I realized this year I had my own Franco brother. I love him more than anything. Thanks to my mother for giving him to me.
That was James Franco receiving the award for Best Motion Picture Comedy Male
Oh, he won it?
What movie?
Actor or director? Which one was it?
in The Disaster Artist. He
Never heard
won
of
for
it.
Best Actor. It's in theaters right now.
Ah.
It's a take on. Are you familiar with the movie The Room? like what's
I think
supposed to be
so.
the worst movie ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about the guy who made that.
And okay. And he won best. Okay.
Yeah, go figure. A lot of James Franco fans on the voting, I guess. I don't know. Anyhow, so before I get to all the winners of the night, last night was the 75th annual Golden Globe Awards, and it was highlighted by all the women in attendance wearing black in solidarity for women's equality and to speak out against sexual harassment that has been going on and being brought to light in Hollywood. That's pretty much what was a main focus of the whole night. It seems like everybody was wearing a pin that said "Time's Up," which is in reference to a legal defense fund going on in Hollywood to help those stepping forward for workplace sexual harassment and abuse. Yes, Chris, you have something
They
to
step
say?
up X amount of years / decades after. And I'm just saying they step out and mention it and bring it up years after the event took place. You know, and now they use this event to, like, you know, do this whole cause. It's just the same thing as the NFL players kneeling during the anthem. They choose that venue when all the cameras are on them. If they're so, you know, proactive about this stuff, they should be marching in the streets without the cameras rolling.
Okay, this is a rabbit hole I don't want to go down right now.
Just say it.
Okay. The night was also highlighted by Oprah Winfrey giving a speech, which many are calling her first speech as a presidential candidate. I don't know, maybe not. I am not on the Oprah Winfrey bandwagon.
Did everybody get a car?
No, but that would have kind of felt like she was leading up to that. Yes, and also Deborah Messing on the red carpet pointed out her dissatisfaction with the inequality of pay in the
E-network.
Especially with the E-network, but it's kind of overall of Hollywood and a lot of other industries as well where men make.
Was that part
more.
of the wearing all black?
No, well, I mean, it kind of factored into that.
I'm just curious.
Like as an afterthought.
Right, because there's been lots of controversy with E, and then one of the reporters quitting as far as she wasn't making the same amount.
Her co-host was making almost twice as much as she was.
Right.
A male. Yeah.
And their
so she quit.
co-host, and absolutely. And then there was another presenter that also made a comment during presenting, wasn't it, about no female directors were
Who
nominated.
was that? I forget who that
That
was.
was the girl from Game of Thrones.
Was it?
I think
thought it was someone else.
Oh, no, wait.
Mm.
But she was presenting an award, and it was for best directors, and she actually made it a point to say that there was no women directors nominated.
Right.
Was it? No, it wasn't on the page.
Do you remember a couple of years ago, a couple of African American actors and actresses
Yes,
made
they
a
said
big production about it? That
it
none of
wasn't
them,
Golden Globes though, but yes, you're
but
right.
it was the Emmys or
The
whatever.
Academy Awards,
Academy
I think.
Awards,
That was last year, wasn't it?
Last year or
No, it
2
was a
years
couple
ago?
years ago now,
Mhm.
because this past year they had better representation.
It's nobody's fault. The movies that, because when movies are made, they're not put out immediately. They're put in a can, and then they have to be paid for. You know, theaters have to buy it and play it, and it has to get distributed a certain way. So, you know, it's just.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get to some of the winners now. Chris just got derailed.
Chris is the one who's down to cook a little meth.
No,
Let's
no.
rescind this.
I wanted to restructure my point, but I don't want to take up any more of the show.
Okay, so winner for best motion picture drama was 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I have never heard of this movie.
I never hear
I
of any of the
remember when I
movies in
heard
these
of it.
awards. That's why I don't watch these
And
awards.
there's a lot of backlash about people saying this should have not won. There were a lot of other better movies out there, but now that there's so much,
that's a speculation. It's just your opinion.
well, now it's going to be a big box office movie because everyone's going to go see it because they're bringing attention to it.
Right.
Best motion picture comedy, which also was a smaller, lesser known movie, but I had heard about it and heard good things about it before, was the movie Lady Bird. Now I want to go see it. I've heard before the Golden Globes, I had heard a lot about it and that it was good. And now it actually won quite a few awards. Best actress for a motion picture was Frances McDormand, also for the movie 3 Billboards. Best actor was Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour.
Nice.
Best Actress Motion Picture Comedy, again, was for Lady Bird. I don't know how to say her name. Saoirse Ronan. She's adorable. And then, as we just heard from James Franco, he won the Best Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical. Best Supporting Actress was Allison Janney in I, Tonya, which is the movie about Tonya Harding.
Oh God.
And it's supposed to be actually really heartfelt. Again, for Best Supporting Actor, Sam Rockwell in 3 Billboards. This probably wasn't a bad movie if it won this many awards. Best Director, which, as we just mentioned, that category had a lot of controversy because there were no women represented in it. The director, Guillermo del Toro, won for The Shape of Water. Best Screenplay was, again, 3 Billboards. Best Animated Feature Film, Coco. And then let's just get into the TV stuff real quick, and then we'll move on. For the Best TV Series, The Handmaid's Tale. Again, this felt like a replay of the Emmys. Handmaid's Tale won a ton of awards there. Golden Globes actress Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale. Best Actor was Sterling K. Brown in This Is Us. Yeah, so if these are shows or movies you haven't seen, get out there, see them. And just want to make note of the best TV movie or limited series was Big Little Lies, which also won a lot of awards in the Academy Awards. And that is on my list of movies to check out. And Nicole Kidman won an award for that as well. And Ewan McGregor won for Fargo. Yeah, and I have to make special note. The best, I don't see it here, but it did win, I think, something like best song was from The Greatest Showman. And the song is This Is Me. If you guys haven't seen that movie, if you like musicals, I would suggest seeing it. I saw it over Christmas break. It was really cool. It was a good movie. It reminded me of Moulin Rouge with the music and the dancing set in like modern music set in a timepiece.
P.T. Barnum.
Exactly.
I
But
feel
it's
like
not
such an
totally
oddball.
historically accurate.
No, it's
Why?
just based on him.
Just the things that they like, all the shows and movies and stuff, like either I've never heard of or I have no interest. So I'm thinking I must be. I mean, like any of the shows that I watch are freaking hilarious. Like
Right.
I must have a dark sense of humor or something. I feel.
But I remember the point I was trying to make, the contrast. When movies are made, they're not put out right away.
Right.
So when these actors, whatever race or gender they might be or whatever, they don't get nominated by a certain time. If they're not, the movie isn't released in a certain number. It just didn't happen that way. It didn't work out. It's not a race thing. They're not saying, oh, it's all about the white people. It's all about this, or it's all about there's no female directors in this category. The movies just maybe weren't timed on the release to be nominated for these awards. It was the contrast I was trying to make.
Gotcha.
And I forgot. I was wording it wrong.
That was
and
a better.
I
That was a better way to put it. Now that's completely understandable.
It was Natalie Portman who said that.
Yes, I knew it was a bigger name. I was trying to remember exactly who it was.
2 Star Wars characters.
So that's that.
How come like Star Wars and stuff like that doesn't get nominated for that?
I don't think it made it might not have made the time.
No Star Wars movie ever fizzled out this fast.
Are any of these superhero movies?
There's too many in a row. It's an oversaturation of the market.
But they seem to be the markets that make the most money. That's what I don't
because
understand.
Disney
Here's
just
what
bought
happened.
Fox. Disney just bought 20th Century Fox out in Hollywood, which is one of the biggest companies out there, movie companies. Now they own Marvel, they own Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, all those things. They own them all. Now all these origination movies are going to come out. For example, they just killed Han Solo. Spoiler alert! Episode 7 of Star Wars 2 years ago. Now they're going to put him on a movie in the next 5 months about his origins, where he came from, and how he came to be the gambler and the Millennium Falcon and everything. After they killed him off, this is overkill.
Right. You know,
in this
people are going to
whole
go
thing.
watch it.
But because Disney owns it, they're going to put it all out and say, just suck it up, America. And like we were talking about before, Joy, on a previous show, that rat is their biggest star and hasn't made a movie in over 50 years.
You're right.
Yeah, but he's a star at the parks where it makes more money.
He's a rat.
BS, Drew.
No.
BS. I wish I could say the word.
He
But
likes
the
sticky
park
cheese.
makes more money per person than the movie does.
Every kid I know, or every kid I was around when I was a kid, watched those Disney movies with him in it from a young age.
Sure.
So you're expecting him to be in movies.
It's so true.
But
Even
just-
cartoons.
but
When
wait,
he had
wait.
cartoon, he had movies.
But
You
wait.
would have thought they would have taken him further.
But that's
as
a sign of the times. Now he's not going to be a big movie star. He's not a big movie star. If they made a movie of him and put it in theaters, it wouldn't make as much money as it would having him.
But Disney has a huge following. I think just because of the following, I think just because it would be Disney and I
No,
think
they
Mickey
could have.
Mouse, like I think that
They could have
people would
also
still
decided
go.
not to put him out any longer because they have these other products.
They didn't want to hoe the rat out.
They may not.
They had
want to.
already done that the first 50 years.
A Mickey Mouse video or a movie direct to video, I think would do well,
And they do. Like his Christmas one.
but
I
not
see it
put it
every
on
year.
the big screen. I
Right.
don't think it would do well on the big screen.
I wouldn't go see it. Not at my age.
but-
And I don't even know why I went to see Star Wars at my age. Knowing that George Lucas does not have any hands,
He
or
still
any
does.
input on these two movies. He
still
does
does.
not.
And that's why they still make them because people will still go and
still
watch
does.
it. They still
No, he has no influence.
He does.
He does not.
He is
Drew.
still the creative consultant to those movies.
They're not consulting him. He might be throwing them suggestions. He sends them suggestions and like, yeah, George.
Well, then that's
no.
what they're paying
Let
for.
me explain. He comes up with these scripts and these ideas and hands them to them. They're like, yeah, George, we got this. Remember the $4 billion we gave you? Yeah, we got this.
Well, they're still paying him to do that.
They're
So
not,
saying
they're
thank
not
you?
taking his suggestions,
They
Drew.
don't have to. They don't. He doesn't own them.
Okay, let's go over into odd news this week.
Oh, give him another card. Who's
Who
most
we are?
likely
We're
to be
gonna
a
do a card in
douchebag?
just a second. You are.
I'm being legalities.
Oh, be nice,
Shut his
boys.
mic on.
No fighting.
This week in odd news. So with the cold weather, it's been so cold that Florida iguanas have been falling from their perches in suburban trees.
Oh,
Last
nothing. Them
week-
things are nasty.
I love those things.
Ugh.
Temperatures last week dipped below 40 degrees Fahrenheit early Thursday in parts of South Florida, according to the National Weather Service over here in Miami. So that was chilly enough to immobilize green iguanas common in Miami suburbs. However, these iguanas are not actually native. Over a month ago, they actually put in a law to try to get rid of these animals. However, these animals are in fact not actually dying when they are frozen. It just puts a stop on their body. They freeze. As temperatures warm up, they actually come back to life and go on their merry little way. However, just watch out for the little creatures because they are everywhere out there, except for now that we've warmed up. They've thawed out.
I've seen them again. Yes.
Have you seen them walking or on their backs?
No, I've seen them walking around.
Cook them.
They are alive and well.
They are back alive and well. Go ahead, Siobhan.
So, a cafe in London is taking barista art to a new level by giving customers the chance to sip on their own self-portraits. The Tea Terrace, based in House of Fraser's Oxford Street branch, has become Europe's first location to deliver the Selfie Chino, which features an image of customers' faces on the frothy topping of their drinks. Patrons send their headshots via an online messaging app to the barista and are given the choice of either a cappuccino or hot chocolate as their canvas. The image is uploaded to the Sino machine while the drink is placed in position. The picture is then scanned and reproduced onto the froth using a flavorless food coloring. The process takes about 4 minutes before an image is presented on the froth, ready to be photographed and sent to all points via social media before drinking, and costs around $7.50 American. So this is over 400 of these drinks were served in less than a week. Making a lot of money for this little tea house in London. So expect to see this in a tea house, coffee house near you pretty soon.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I don't know.
Right
that
now,
I
it's
would
not
spend
even
$7
cool.
on that.
Now it's not even cool to have a laptop at Starbucks anymore because now you got to do this.
You got to have your selfie chino with you and take a selfie with the selfie chino.
Shoot me now, Siobhan. Please.
Yeah, right.
Get
Talking
it
about
over with.
shooting. Just shy of her
Oh,
100th
no.
birthday, a Mississippi woman bags a deer. A 99-year-old hunter in Mississippi wants to know why people are making a big fuss about her recent kill. She keeps saying it was a doe after all, not a prized buck. The Clarion Ledger reports that Bertha Vickers used a Winchester rifle to kill a doe recently a few miles from her rural home. Relatives posted pictures of Vickers and her kill on Facebook, and people sent messages or congratulations. Vickers says she doesn't know why everybody is making such a big deal about it because it was just a doe and not a buck. Vickers lives near the farming community where she grew up in northern Mississippi outside Starksville. She still mows her own yard and enjoys squirrel hunting. She's due to turn 100 tomorrow, January 9th.
God bless her.
Happy birthday,
You're not
Bertha
supposed to shoot the
Vickers.
does. You're not supposed to shoot the does.
Well, obviously, I guess 99, she's forgetting. Like me at 40.
Chinese street barber Zhang Gaowu deftly scrapes a straight razor along the inside of his customer's Eyelids. Yes, this sounds awful. He says you should be very, very gentle. Well, duh. He performs traditional eyelid shaves at his roadside location in the capital of the southwestern province of Sichuan. Customers swear by the practice of blade wash eyes, as it is known in Mandarin, saying they trust his skill with the blade. It's not dangerous, and people's eyes feel refreshed after shaving, and they feel comfortable. He learned the technique in the 80s and serves up to 8 customers a week, charging about $12 per shave. He says it was difficult at the beginning, but it became a piece of cake afterwards.
I bet.
No. So the technique appears to unblock moisturizing sebaceous glands along the rim of the eyelid. And yeah, he just does this on the street, which sounds completely unsanitary to me. But
yeah, it is roadside location, and your eyelashes are supposed to protect you. They're protect.
It's like he flips your eyelid up and does it. You do not. If just hearing this is.
But you
giving
need your lashes.
He doesn't do anything to the eyelashes. It's inside your eyelid.
Wait, he does
it's- What? You'll have to look at the picture.
I'm thinking he was just slashing lashes off.
This is a family
Look at the
show,
picture.
Siobhan.
If the story creeps you out, then you
Oh.
don't want to see the picture.
Oh, it doesn't creep me out. I just, I know what you're trying to
Oh, he
say. and I
shaves the
just-
eyelids. Oh,
Yeah.
it's, you know what? That was so creepy as a kid when kids flipped their
Yeah,
eyelids.
exactly. That's what he's doing.
I don't do that, but
And
I
he's-
thought that was the
I used
grossest
to do that
things. Yeah, I know.
with my
You seem
friends.
like one of those kids that would do
Yeah,
that.
they
the
are-
card
they-
for
they
that
get a
one.
card for
Here's
that.
the card. Who
Give
would
them a
flip
card
their
for it. Go find
eyelids?
it in the whole box there.
That being said, so Chris has a special treat for us, a show
I-
and tell treat before we
I
get
do,
going.
and unfortunately, it's a radio show. But for everybody in the room,
I just got a perfect card. Go ahead.
we can relate to this, you and I, because we're both born in '78, and Danny, if he was in the room, him too.
No, he
Yes.
was born in 79. Sorry.
Forget it. Yeah.
78 was a great year.
Right. So I got this for Christmas from my sister, who gives these kind of thoughtful, clever gifts. You know, and I'm like, she's dying for me to open it. She kept like, egging on and everything. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, nice, happy birthday, 1978 was a very good year. So I opened it up, and
Yes.
talk about marketing to kids.
Nah.
All the candy that was out back in the day. And my favorite are the bubblegum cigarettes and the candy cigarettes, because there's two different ones.
Did they have the
There's
chocolate
the bubble
ones?
gum. No, there's the bubblegum ones, and then there's the
Oh,
candy
those
ones.
like chalky ones?
These are the candy ones, yeah.
Ugh.
But I think these are those, the stallions.
That's the candy.
Yeah.
And these are the bubblegum ones.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
And
that.
you like blow on them, and like a little bit of sugar comes out.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like.
Let me see what
I'd
else
like
is
to
in
give you
there.
a smoke.
Oh, I get one. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my God, thank you. I was gonna say, does it have the filter? I remember it has the filter.
And you blow on and the little like
Like,
dust
blow it
comes
out.
out. Oh, I don't see anything.
You blow it out.
Yes,
not-
I
not-
did.
Very.
It's gum.
But anyway.
Oh, I love
I really
this.
want to pass this around the room. There are things I don't like in there.
Yeah.
So there's certain ones I don't eat. But I want to start with you, of course. Because it's your
Ah, the
birthday.
birthday girl.
So don't be shy.
Okay.
But whatever you pick out, you have to say what it is.
Oh,
these are gross.
Oh, my favorite. My favorite.
Sixlets?
Sixlets.
Hate them.
Are you good? Okay, so that one's mine. Good. Sixlets.
Oh, I like those. Yeah.
I can't. Where did she get this?
There is a name on the front of the box.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
You
That is
might
that is
wanna
a
look it
cool
up.
gift. See, I buy gifts like this for people. I think these are more. They're novelty gifts, and I just think that they're more
the
special
candy
and to the
necklace.
heart.
Candy
So-
necklace.
So
Yeah.
it's custom made for whatever year it
Pixie
is.
sticks.
Yep.
Everybody's getting these for their birthday. What is this cake? I need the name of the company.
Yeah,
It's
before
on
we
the
go.
front of
figure
the
it out.
box, but I wanted to offer everybody a little piece of candy from that
Oh, it's
time
from
period.
Woodstock, New
It's
York.
not necessarily from '78, but it's from that time
Oh, it's
period.
called Woodstock candy.
But
Yes.
this is what was sold to kids at gas stations.
It was. We
And,
used to walk
you
to
know,
the convenience store and
Yeah.
buy that stuff.
Nice.
I'm not a fan of Good and Plenty, so I put that in the pile of things I don't like.
No.
Not
Ooh,
a big
sugar
fan
babies.
of Chuckles.
Mm.
You like Chuckles?
Oh my! I'm gonna go home and order boxes for every year for everybody for.
But, anyway,
like,
but my sister knocked
everybody's
it. My sister
birthday.
knocked it out of the park with this gift,
I
That's
love
pretty cool.
gifts like those.
and I've been picking at him like dots. I love dots.
because
Remember
here, okay, now do you want to see? Now we said this was our show and tell, so we'll call this our flashback show and tell.
Right,
Because
pretty much
here's
retro.
the thing.
Pop rocks.
I got sick on these. These are cherry pipes.
Ooh, no.
I ate too many of these, and I puked up all this
I
red stuff.
agree.
Ew,
I
candy
agree.
buttons.
But
Razzles,
wait.
remember Razzles? They start out
Yeah.
as candy and then they gum.
What's your show and tell, Joy?
Do you want to see my flashback? My show and tell
Wax lips,
flashback.
wax lips.
Oh
Go
wow,
ahead.
they look like my lips. Okay, so during Christmas, now for months ago, I was having a bad urge to play Qbert. I really I couldn't help it, right?
Great game.
I love Qbert. Look, he's even got bubblegum cigars. So I even looked on my phone app to see if there was any Qbert games. I figured somebody had to have made one, right? No, like the ones that they do, they have some, but like they're really bad reviews. So I'm in Walmart, like Christmas shopping, and I'm thinking about Qbert, right? I turn to the right and I see this box.
Oh, it's Qbert.
Oh, nice.
And it's a little Qbert video game. It's a
How
handheld
cute.
Qbert video
Sweet.
game. Check it out.
Aw, we'll post pictures of these items on our Twitter.
See, I told you I'm a novelty freak.
And you play like
yeah, it plays exactly. You go
Oh
through,
my
and it has
God.
the snakes. It's go look at it. Here, go
I have
ahead.
a cue
Quick
ball
start.
tournament, a Qbert tournament later.
Yay.
Okay, so you guys ready for our last question before
Okay,
we
Yes.
end the
here
show?
we go.
Are you guys ready, Drew?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so out of all of us, again, the name of the game is who is most likely to always want to play stupid card games.
Joy. Chris, what's your answer?
Me.
You?
You always want to play stupid card games? Drew.
I just seemed like this would have been the category though, the card that I would have been most likely voted for. That's why I voted for myself.
Who do you choose?
But it would be a toss up between you and
Yeah.
I.
All right. Drew. Oh, your game's going off.
Oh, we're losing.
Drew, who do you choose?
Joy.
Joy, you get that card.
I get the card. I'm a loser today.
So
I've got
Joy is
two
the
cards.
loser.
Baby.
And
I've got
Joy
two.
is the loser.
You're the loser, baby.
On my birthday, okay, so I'm most likely to. See?
But it's your birthday, so you can't really lose.
Thank you guys. Well, that was a great show. I think we had a great show today. So we will be back next week.
There's our sound effects.
I love that little Qbert game. So happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for joining me on my
Happy New
birthday. It's
Year.
been
Happy
a
birthday,
great
Joy.
day today. Thank you guys so much for making it such a great day for me. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back here on nowtrendingradio.com, and this is Now Trending Live. Have a great week.
2018.
Bye-bye.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.